one line that he's been chosen.
Why do you want to only label us as Dalits, and because we are Dalits, we don't deserve to be, and we
No,
are
I didn't
chosen
say that.
only because we are Dalits?
I didn't say
I
that.
think that is
That was
not
a
right.
factor or not?
This is not right. I think his experience speaks for him.
One final question, what about Shashi Tharoor? Many say he's the kind of younger person your party needs.
That is for you to decide, Rajdeep, that our party needs a younger person or older person. I don't think age has got anything to do with it. The point is that now I would request Mr. Shashi Tharoor to withdraw.
You want Shashi Tharoor to withdraw?
I would request him.
Then what happens to an election? Itna election ki baat hui?
Election also means unanimous decision. It's part of an election.
Okay, I'll leave it there. Kumari Shelja, former union minister, joining us. As you can see, she wants Shashi Tharoor to withdraw. Nabila, this is the Congress party. You know, every day is a new day in this party. Something always changes. Now she wants Shashi Tharoor to withdraw. But it seems Tharoor has made up his mind that he wants to contest and at least give the impression of a contest.
And in fact,
but
Tharoor
really,
was one
given
of the
the kind of
first
leaders
to
who
throw
are
his
coming
hat in
here.
the ring. Tharoor has been asking or saying that he wanted to contest, one of the first people to do so. But a quick word, Rajdeep, will Mallikarjun Kharge now give up his position as leader of opposition in the Rajya Sabha? Now, going by this rule of one person, one post?
I would think so. I think you would probably have a new leader of the Congress in the Rajya Sabha. But, you know, when you see the kind of people who are coming to file a form for Mallikarjun Kharge, it's clear the party leadership has decided to unite behind Mr. Kharge. And they want to build a consensus around him. And it shows in a way that the paucity of options, the fact that, as I said, many people were unwilling to take up this post, and the elephant in the room, Rahul Gandhi. You see, what role will Rahul Gandhi play irrespective of who becomes the party president? He's on a Bharat Jodo Yatra. He's the face of the party being projected by the party. What will be his role? How will he fit in with the rest of the party leaders, who, whether they are party presidents, leader of the Rajya Sabha? You know, that unless that elephant in the room is addressed, these debates will continue.
You know, but when you say that Mallikarjun Kharge is seen as a Gandhi loyalist, how is he otherwise a cut above Shashi Tharoor? I mean, apart from the age and maybe a few more years of experience, he's also Kharge is also seen as an organizational man. But both hail from the south. Both of their Hindi is not the strongest. So if they're really looking to appeal to the Hindi belt, then that's a goner in this case.
That's right, Nabila. It's your part of the world. You know, Karnataka goes to the polls, what, 7 months from now?
Yeah,
so Mr. Kharge, being from Karnataka, could help the Congress certainly in the context of Karnataka. But I think in the overall national context, you know, the Congress attempted this role of, you know, projecting a Dalit as a chief minister of Punjab with Charanjit Singh Channi, and they fell a cropper. Now with Kharge, they will certainly, Ms. Selja may deny it, but the Congress will make the point, look, we have a Dalit as our party president, someone who hails from a relatively...
Rajiv Shukla speaking to the media. Let's cut across.
देखिए, गांधी परिवार का फैसला है. उन्होंने कहा कि हमें अध्यक्ष नहीं बनना है और पार्टी के अंदर से कोई भी बने, और पूरी लोकतांत्रिक प्रक्रिया अपनाई गई है. जो भी दाखिल करना चाहे दाखिल करे, जो भी जीते वो अध्यक्ष.
सर, क्या रहेगी गांधी परिवार की भूमिका? अब क्या रहेगी?
गांधी परिवार की भूमिका ये रहेगी कि जो भी जहां पार्टी को जरूरत पड़ेगी, पार्टी की सेवा के लिए, वो हमेशा उपलब्ध रहेंगे, और जो पार्टी अध्यक्ष चुना जाएगा वो पार्टी चलाएगा.
सर, एक सवाल जो एक मेरे मन में एक पत्रकार के तौर पे जो घूम रहा है वो ये कि अब आपके अध्यक्ष जो हैं वो साउथ इंडिया से होंगे, दक्षिण भारत से होंगे, और नॉर्थ इंडिया जो एक तमाम तरीके से कांग्रेस वहाँ पर पिछड़ती है अभी तक में, तो आपको नहीं लगता इसका क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा?
इसका इम्पैक्ट जो है कोई गड़बड़ नहीं पड़ेगा. कांग्रेस ऐसी पार्टी है जो कश्मीर से लेकर कन्याकुमारी तक है. उसके लिए उत्तर भारत, दक्षिण भारत, पश्चिम भारत, पूर्वी भारत सब एक है ना. और पार्टी में अन्य पद भी होते हैं जिसमें उत्तर भारत के लोग भी होंगे. इसमें कौन सी बड़ी बात है?
All right. So you have the Congress party leaders extensively coming to support the candidacy of both Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor, all hoping for the best man to win. Rajdeep still joining us on that. Rajdeep, a quick word on the dramatic turnaround of Digvijaya Singh a little earlier today. One self-goal after the other. Somehow the Congress does not fail to make it to the headlines on a controversy each time. Digvijaya Singh got to know today, he was enlightened today that Mallikarjun Kharge is also filing his nomination, and quite visibly upset and angry with when he spoke to the media. It was all visible on the screens there. He very, in an irked manner, shunned the media out of his office and said that I'll speak to you in about an hour's time. So it took him a while to settle with the new information that he got, that Kharge is also filing his nomination, and then very politely said, I'm not contesting, I'm going to support Kharge. What really happened there? Was there miscommunication or no communication?
There was chaos. Look, the Congress in the last 1 week has demonstrated why the party is a chaotic party. Now, it's often been its strength, particularly when it's been in power. You can hear, you will hear voices in the Congress office you'll never hear in the BJP office. No one in the BJP office would sort of challenge what the party leadership does now. The BJP is much more regimented. The Congress is chaotic, and that chaos was reflected that Digvijaya Singh decides, plunges into the contest. Lots of people have come here from Madhya Pradesh hearing that Digvijaya is going to contest. And then the Congress leadership is able to convince or is able to build a consensus around Mr. Kharge and convince number of other leaders that, look, Kharge is the best man for the job, someone who's a pure Congress loyalist. And Mr. Digvijaya Singh has no option then but to bow out, because, look, at the end of the day, no one wants to defy the Congress High Command beyond a point. Ashok Gehlot attempted to do so, and you saw what happened in Rajasthan. Digvijaya Singh thought that he could carve out some kind of space and, in a way, create at least the impression of a contest, a challenge, and you saw what happened. Will Shashi Tharoor withdraw? We don't know. But at the end of the day, that's how the Congress works. Amidst the chaos, at the end, there'll be a happy family reunion. Among those signing Kharge's form will be Mr. Digvijaya Singh. That's just the way this party is. And that's why this party at the moment, because of the messy state it finds itself, everyone working as individuals and not as a team, is unable to challenge the Modi-Shah juggernaut of the BJP.
Well, so it's going to be a tough challenge indeed, whoever takes on the Congress president's post. But let me cut across to reactions on that, Rajdeep. Stay with us.
Both are from southern India.
I think we should not tend to divide India in all those lines, actually. It's the entire big organization. Sometimes you have a person as the president from one place at another time from another place. And that's the long history of Congress, which it has actually a witness to it.
Those are veteran leaders of the Congress who really are resting their confidence with the Congress party entirely to carry a free and fair election. Whoever wins will, both Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge, both of them have enough backing from the party cadre, claiming that both of them are experienced people and they will be a fit candidate, whoever wins among the two. Now, Rajdeep, who's still with us. Rajdeep, a quick word from you. Do we see a lot of people coming in from a lot of states there to witness this spectacle of sorts? This is possibly the first time that Congress party has decided to hold an internal election. Give us a real understanding, Rajdeep. How is this election conducted? What's really the process and protocol of this internal election to select the Congress president?
The next date, of course, will be the date of withdrawal, which I think is the 8th of October. And the elections are scheduled for the 17th, results on the 19th. Look, there are about a 9,000 strong electoral college of delegates. Most of these delegates have come through the state leadership. So whoever controls the state and district units gets his or her delegates into that list. And then that delegates list votes. Because most of the state leaderships themselves are appointed and anointed by the Congress leadership at the center, whoever the Congress leadership wants, the unofficially official candidate or the officially unofficial candidate gets the benefit. So that's how it happens. You've seen in the past, Mr. Kesri also got over 90% of the votes against Sharad Pawar and Rajesh Pilot, who are no pushovers. Sonia Gandhi got almost 99% of the votes against Jitendra Prasad. So I don't know how Shashi Tharoor can now pull this off, because the odds are stacked against him. But it's good that he's contesting, because at least he seems to be standing up for the original principle of a free and fair election and a contest this time for the Congress presidency.
All right. Now, is there a time period for a Congress president, Rajdeep? How long does one hold the post as Congress president once elected?
If I'm not mistaken, it's a 5-year term. Rahul Gandhi's term had started in 2017, and he was to carry on till 2022. He gave it up in 2019. So effectively, 3 years of his term had Sonia Gandhi as an interim Congress president. Whoever becomes president now gets a 5-year term, will lead the party into 2024. And that's the question. Is Kharge the right person to lead you into the 2024 election? Yes, the Congress has lost the Dalit vote in recent times. Mr. Kharge will be projected as a Dalit face of the Congress. But is that enough? Can he really handle the organization? JP Nadda travels all the time. He's traveled to more than 250 Lok Sabha constituencies in the last 2 years. Can Mr. Kharge match that energy? These are the questions that the Congress will have to address when you compare a Nadda with a Mallikarjun Kharge. You know, Nadda hungrier, younger, makes a huge difference.
You know, Rajdeep, lots of senior Congress leaders who've descended there. Let me cut across to Shashi Tharoor and the visuals there as he's just about filed his nomination and stepped out. Listen in.
Great enthusiasm and show of support for change in the Congress party. I began the day after prayers by paying homage to Mahatma Gandhi ji at Rajghat, the man who taught us all to live up to the courage of our convictions, something which is a great inspiration to me as I embark on this journey. I then went and paid tribute at Veer Bhumi, Shakti Sthal, where Rajiv Gandhi is memorialized, the man who built the bridge that took India to the 21st century. And it was a reminder that this election is about the young people of India and about the future of our country. And our party is the natural party to build on what Mahatma Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi and the very famous leaders between and before them, starting with Jawaharlal Nehru ji, have taught this nation and built the party to lead it into a brighter future. In my own efforts, I am guided by the lakhs, crores of party workers throughout the country who have taken this Congress party through good times and bad, and who are once again hoping for a renewed vigor and dynamism and energy in the Congress party. This is what I hope to bring to and through my campaign. I have a vision for the Congress, for the internal reorganization of the Congress, which I will be sending to every one of the 9,100 and odd delegates. We have just received just now the list of delegates, and we are also going to seek as much information so we can get them our message and seek their support. Today, the nomination papers I have submitted reflect the extraordinarily wide range of support that has been extended voluntarily to me by our party workers across the country. In the very limited time available between the collection of the nomination forms and their submission today, we have been able to complete 5 forms which have already been submitted, 50 signatures, and we are about to submit a 6th form before 3 o'clock, which will take the total to 60. And these represent party workers from a dozen states in India. Despite some of the challenges of getting the physical form to distant parts of the country and bringing it to us in time, which is why one of the forms is late, we are very pleased that we have signatures of party colleagues from Kashmir to Kerala, from Punjab to Nagaland, with Bihar, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, and many other states, including Uttarakhand, represented in this form. So I want to say to all of you, I am here to be the voice of all these party workers. And I hope that my campaign will appeal to them and will represent a way forward for the party. We are issuing this by all means that we can to our party workers. And today we have a copy for each of you, which explains how we hope to rejuvenate the party, to decentralize the organization of the party, to reimagine the role of our headquarters in order to empower the grassroots, to reiterate the core ideology of the party. We'll have it in English and Hindi. To broaden participation, to reinvigorate our election management, to focus on youth. The youth are the future, and youth are already the majority in our country. A bigger role for women, reaching out to industry and professionals whom we need to take India forward in this century, and finally, a return to the ethos of politics as social work between elections. We are not just a machine for winning elections every 5 years. We must serve the people of India. तो मैं आप लोग से ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि मैं आज जाके मेरे नॉमिनेशन पत्रिका दे दिए मधुसूदन मिश्र जी से को 50 दस्तखत मैं अभी सबमिट किया हूँ। कश्मीर से केरला तक, पंजाब से नागालैंड तक, उत्तर प्रदेश से तमिलनाडु तक 12 राज्यों के कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ताओं ने हमें मदद की है और मैं इस समर्थन से पार्टी को भी दिखाना चाहता हूं कि मेरी आवाज़ एक व्यक्ति की आवाज़ नहीं है। मैं अकेला चला था, जैसे मैंने मजरू सुल्तानपुरी के प्रसिद्ध शायरी को कोट करके आपको दिखाया था। मैं अकेला चला था, लेकिन लोग आते रहे, चलते मेरे साथ और कारवां बनते गए। तो इसलिए मैं उनके समर्थन के साथ आज नॉमिनेशन फाइल किया और ये 50-60 होने वाला है, क्योंकि एक और फॉर्म हम तो हर इलाके से लेके आ रहे हैं। 3 बजे के पहले हम एक और फॉर्म भी सबमिट करेंगे और इसके साथ हमारी उम्मीद है कि कांग्रेस मजबूत बने और कांग्रेस पार्टी इस देश के आगे ले जाएं। 21वां शताब्दी एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण समय है भारत के भविष्य के लिए। हमने देखा है कि कुछ सालों से बहुत चीज़ें ठीक नहीं चल रहे हैं हमारे देश में। भाजपा के सरकार नोट निरोध लेके आए, आपको याद है, डिमोनेटाइजेशन, नोटबंदी। उसके बाद आपको याद है कि हमें एक बहुत बुरी रिकॉर्ड तक गिरना पड़ा कि हमारे इतिहास में सबसे बड़ी बेरोजगारी, क्योंकि जब तक हमने आंकड़े मेंटेन किए सरकार में, इतनी बड़ी बेरोजगारी कभी नहीं हुई है। और आजकल महंगाई जो आम आदमी महसूस कर रहे हैं, हम सब जानते हैं कि हमारे देश को एक बदलाव चाहिए और कांग्रेस मेरे ख्याल में होनी चाहिए बदलाव की पार्टी। तो ये सब कह के मैं आपका प्रश्न लेने के लिए तैयार हूँ। ये हिंदी में भी है और आपको हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में जिस भाषा आप चाहते हैं हम दे सकते हैं। देखिए, ये घोषणा पत्र आपको पता है कि ये 9100 जो वोटर्स हैं, ये कांग्रेस पार्टी कार्यकर्ता डेलीगेट्स हैं, ये उनके लिए हैं। देश के बारे में कांग्रेस पार्टी की बहुत सोच है और देश के बारे में हम बहुत कहेंगे, लेकिन अभी इस चुनाव में हम पार्टी के भीतर किस किस्म के प्रगति लेके आने चाहते हैं, ये इस घोषणा पत्र में है। हम चाहते हैं कि आप देखिए, कायाकल्प की प्रक्रिया को अपनाएं, बड़ी जरूरी है कि संगठन का विकेंद्रीकरण, हमें डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन की काफी जरूरत है इस पार्टी में। एआईसीसी मुख्यालय की भूमिका की फिर से कल्पना,
Shashi Tharoor, who just addressed the media, holding a long a plan or a dossier rather that he's put together to show how the Congress party will be taken forward if at all he comes to the helm.
जरूरी है, आपको पता है क्यों? युवाओं पर अधिक ध्यान, और ये मैं कह रहा हूँ क्योंकि हमारे देश में युवाओं तो 50% तो पार किए हैं। हमारे देश युवाओं की देश है और हमारी पार्टी भी युवाओं की पार्टी होनी चाहिए। भविष्य में अगर भारत ये 21वां शताब्दी को हाथ में लेके अच्छा रोशनी ले आना चाहेंगे इस देश में, तो युवाओं को हमें शक्तिकरण देनी ही चाहिए। महिलाओं के लिए बड़ी भूमिका, ये बड़ी ज़रूरी है। उद्योग और पेशावरों के लिए आउटरीच के लिए शुद्ध हिंदी किसी ने बताएंगे मुझे, लेकिन आउटरीच के बारे में कहा इसमें। और सामाजिक कार्य के रूप में राजनीति के लोकाचार पर लौटे, क्योंकि कांग्रेस पार्टी, आपको पता है कि कुछ लोग सोचते हैं कि इलेक्शन लड़ने की एक मशीन है, लेकिन हर चुनाव के बीच में बहुत काम है जनता के साथ। और जब हम ये करेंगे, हम गरीबों को मदद करेंगे, कोई अनपढ़ औरत को एक राशन कार्ड का एप्लीकेशन फॉर्म भरना नहीं आती, कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ता जाके मदद करते थे, शायद अभी करना चाहिए। अगर कोई गुंडा किसी के घर के अंदर घुस के गड़बड़ किया और पुलिस एक्शन नहीं लेना चाहते क्योंकि वो गुंडा की पार्टी अधिकार में है, तो कांग्रेस कार्यकर्ता जाके मदद देते हैं। कांग्रेस प्रतिनिधियों को फ़ोन करके कोई और तरीके से मदद मांग रहे हैं इस औरत की। इस किस्म की सहायता, जो हम सोशल वर्क, सामाजिक काम कह सकते हैं, ये भी पार्टी को करनी चाहिए। और ये सब मैं हमारे कार्यकर्ताओं को याद दिलाना चाहूँगा। तो ये सब करके मैं मेरे क्रेडेंशियल्स को अभी कार्यकर्ताओं के सामने रख रहा हूँ। और अंत में मैं एक और बार धन्यवाद कहना चाहता हूँ कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी जी से। मैं उनसे मिला हूँ, राहुल गांधी जी से भी और प्रियंका गांधी जी से भी। वो लोग कहें कि चुनाव पार्टी के लिए अच्छा है, कि पार्टी को मजबूत करेंगे, क्योंकि लोग हमारे जैसे आप कर रहे हैं, आप ध्यान देंगे हमारे पार्टी को। और मेरे ख्याल में इस ध्यान से कांग्रेस का संदेश और लोगों के मन में और हृदय में पहुंचेगा। ये सब कह के मैं आपको प्रश्न देने की तैयार हूं।
ये सवाल है कि माना जा रहा है
That's Shashi Tharoor, who's just filed his nomination and speaks to the media. He addresses the presser, saying he's confident that the party will be taken in the right direction. While that said, you have Congress headquarters there, brimming with all that noise and commotion, as Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor have just filed their nominations. Both the leaders are present there, and you see the visuals. Ashok Gehlot too, who's right there along with Kharge, and Digvijaya Singh, who is right now standing right beside Kharge, if you see very closely. Both the leaders, Kharge and Digvijaya Singh, standing right side by side after a huge twist in the events early this morning when Digvijaya Singh was himself all set to file his nomination and found out that Kharge too is filing it. It almost looked like Digvijaya Singh was taken by surprise. A very upset, visibly upset Digvijaya Singh finally said, almost biting his lip, that he's now going to withdraw his name and support Mallikarjun Kharge. And that's what we see happening right here. And live visuals coming in from the Congress headquarters. You have Kharge filing his nomination, flanked by Digvijaya Singh. Digvijaya Singh, they're standing right beside him and supporting him through this process. And on the other hand, on the other side rather, is Ashok Gehlot. Ironically, the top choice of the Congress party, the man who the Congress High Command have been wanting to take the post of Congress president. He is viewed as the staunchest of Gandhi loyalists. Gehlot now out of the race after this huge rebellion within his own state of Rajasthan, which has left the party high command extremely embarrassed. Gehlot himself apologizes, taking responsibility for that rebellion, and has bowed out from this Congress president's race. He too now standing right beside Mallikarjun Kharge and helping him through this process of filing the nomination. There you have it, Mallikarjun Kharge, 80 years old, hailing from Karnataka, 11-time MLA from Gulbarga, lost out the last Lok Sabha election, but is the leader of opposition of the Rajya Sabha, is known to be an organizational man, has mass support, but centered across the state of Karnataka alone. Even though a man from the south is known very well for his skills and the way he adapts, even along the Hindi belt. It appears that he's managed to make his way up the cadre over the years with his sheer hard work. And if language is a barrier, then certainly not with Mallikarjun Kharge. He's picked up the tricks of the trade over the years and seems like the fit man for the post, at least according to the Congress by and large. The clamour around Kharge grows as he has support coming in, not just from the Gandhi family, but it appears also the dissenting G23 group, the group that actually revolted against the Congress, the Gandhi family rather, saying that they wanted a free and fair election process to select a new Congress president. They wanted a non-Gandhi face. They wanted a huge organizational overhaul. And Mallikarjun Kharge, despite not being in the G23 group, he's now found support from the G23. Tharoor, on the other hand, despite being from the G23, has not received that kind of overwhelming support as far as we hear. So it appears now the contest has boiled down to Shashi Tharoor versus Mallikarjun Kharge. Tharoor just a little while earlier filed his nomination. Now you have Kharge filing his nomination. Kharge, as it looks, has a lot more support as in compared to what Tharoor had. When Tharoor filed his nomination, you saw party cadre extensively, but we did not see Gehlot or Digvijaya Singh sitting beside Tharoor, helping him through the process. But here, with Mallikarjun Kharge, we see Gehlot, we see Digvijaya Singh and all the other senior leaders of the Congress sitting right beside him while he files his nomination for the Congress president's post. You have several MPs there who are also standing beside Mallikarjun Kharge, all of them egging him on to file his nomination and help him through this process. 80 years old, so there's possibly one drawback is Mallikarjun Kharge's age, but yet seems like a fit man, has been working relentlessly for over 5 decades. Mallikarjun Kharge is known as one of the senior-most leaders within the Congress party and is a hardened loyalist of the Gandhi family. If this is really a ceremonial figure, a man who's just in the post will be eventually remote controlled by the Gandhi family, then Kharge certainly is one man fit for that post, at least from political analysts that we hear, that he is the man certainly who will toe the line of the Gandhi family. He's been a follower, an ardent admirer, a supporter. He's been towing the line of the Gandhi family ever since he's ventured into politics with the Congress party 5 decades ago. So Kharge, it appears, is the top man for the post of Congress president. Ashutosh joining us right outside Mallikarjun Kharge's residence. Ashutosh, take us through. Mallikarjun Kharge now has been flanked by Ashok Gehlot, Digvijaya Singh, many other MPs of the Congress party who are standing right beside him and helping him through this process. It appears that he's also the top choice of the Gandhi family. Is that right?
Well, absolutely, and that's what why we saw those images when Mallikarjun Kharge, late evening going meeting Sonia Gandhi. So clearly it was choice of 10 Janpath, and when if he is blessed by 10 Janpath, then certainly the top leadership within the Congress party will support Mallikarjun Kharge. But clearly, the important aspect of this entire carrying out election exercise was for the Congress significant, because they also have to give a message that look, we have been accused of controlling this entire Congress by a family from 10 Janpath, but we are following the democratic process, and we are only talking about 2 candidates, Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge. Don't forget there is 3rd candidate as well, KN Tripathi, and what is most surprising that he also got a proposer, a former MLA from Jharkhand, Krishnanand Tripathi, came all the way from Ranchi and filing nomination at AICC headquarters with 10 proposers. Of course, there are 3 candidates in the fray, but clearly the contest that we are going to see between Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor, we have seen so dramatically Shashi Tharoor launching his promos, talking about a manifesto manifestos talking about decentralization of Congress power to the state committee, to the district committee. Subsequently, we haven't heard from Mallikarjun Kharge whether he's also going to bring certain promos or...
I think so. Ashutosh, tell me, why haven't we heard from Mallikarjun Kharge on his vision on what he wants for the Congress party? It possibly is because he himself was unaware until this morning that he was going to be filing his nomination. There was no communication, it appears. Nobody knew that Mallikarjun Kharge was also in the running. He's the same guy who acted as the observer for the Rajasthan crisis and at that point was giving a report to Sonia Gandhi about how Ashok Gehlot had allegedly orchestrated that rebellion in the state of Rajasthan. He was the man who was known as the observer. He was never in the running. It appears that this is last minute versus Shashi Tharoor, who is very well planned because he's right from the start has already expressed his desire to be holding the top post. So here is a prepared Shashi Tharoor and unprepared Mallikarjun Kharge filing their nomination.
No, but Kharge is, most loyal, trusted guard because when there was a crisis in Rajasthan, it was Mallikarjun Kharge who was sent to Rajasthan. When it was decided that Gehlot will be filing nomination, who will be the chief minister, again the task was given to Mallikarjun Kharge. So again, decades-old loyal guard like Mallikarjun Kharge has a different weight and different personality altogether, different experience from Karnataka to the national capital and now in the parliament. But clearly, if you see Shashi Tharoor, he carries a different style, and that's what is being reflected. He is, carrying out a promo manifesto. Of course, when Mallikarjun Kharge filing nomination will be arriving at his residence, we are hearing that around 2:30 he'll also address a press conference. Then we'll have to ask whether he also has some manifesto, because end of the day you'll have to seek support from your delegates within the AICC with number of Congress leaders. Those will be supporting and voting for Mallikarjun Kharge. So two different leaders with two different personalities and two different persona. Clearly that will be not really a clash of titans, because you heard Shashi Tharoor in the morning very smiling faces saying this is a fight for the party and we all should contest democratic way. But the question that we have been asking to also, is it a symbolic election? When the question was asked to Pramod Krishnan, say you can consider that so. When I asked the same question to Rajiv Shukla, so it's a democratic process. Even you can go and file the nomination. Finally, the process has been completed. Now the next exercise will be the screening of those papers and the formalities when the delegates will vote out. But again, both the parties, both these leaders have their different view, different opinion and a different way of working and functioning. We have so far only heard what Shashi Tharoor has to offer for the Congress party as a party's president. We is yet to hear from Mallikarjun Kharge. After all, he has been a savior for the party so far when it comes to Rajasthan crisis, when it comes to the crisis in the parliament. But for now, this will be really a difficult job when Congress has to go for a litmus test in this year in Himachal Pradesh, in Gujarat, later in first half of the next year in Karnataka. So certain litmus tests and of course 2020 largest battle.
Ashutosh, we see Mallikarjun Kharge has just filed his nomination there. You have Kharge now, after much of the suspense whether or not he's going to be contesting, now finally this morning news surfaced and it came as a surprise to Digvijaya Singh himself, a senior Congress leader who himself was about to file his nomination, that Kharge now is going to file his nomination as well today. So out of respect, Digvijaya Singh says, all right, I'm going to withdraw my name, I'll let Mallikarjun Kharge contest. He's a senior leader, I will support him. So that's how surprising this piece of information was. Forget about the rest of the world. Their own internal Congress leadership had no idea that Mallikarjun Kharge was also in the running. Was he really in the running? Was this decision taken overnight in the wee hours of the morning, or maybe right this morning when Digvijaya Singh possibly showed up at the office wanting to file his own nomination? That kind of confusion has also left, tongues wagging on how prepared or planned is the party at this point for their own.
नेताओं में सीनियर जूनियर सब लोग साथ थे और खड़गे साहब के अनुभव में लाभ पूरा मुल्क को मिलेगा, पूरे कांग्रेस को मिलेगा। हमें इस बात की बहुत खुशी है। वो हलचल सब समाप्त हो गई है, सब एकजुट हैं, आराम से। अभी तो विड्रॉल की टाइम और बाकी है, हो सकता है कोई विड्रॉ कर जाए, सची जरूरी विड्रॉ भी कर सकते हैं, कोई नहीं कह सकता। नहीं, मैं उम्मीद नहीं कर, मैं एक बता रहा हूँ आपको। मैं ये मानता हूँ कि जो भी फैसला सीनियर्स ने किया है मिलकर के, खड़गे साहब को खड़ा किया है, सबने मिलकर खड़ा किया है, वो कामयाब होंगे।
that's Ashok Gehlot there, really the top choice initially for the Gandhi family for this top post of Congress president. He comes out to say that he wishes the best for Mallikarjun Kharge. He's in fact sitting right next to Kharge while Kharge filed his nomination. Not just Ashok Gehlot, but also Digvijaya Singh, possibly in a bid to show unity among the Congress leaders. There was a lot of talk about miscommunication, about no coordination between their own senior leadership on whether on who's contesting or not. But finally this
जान पहचान है, तो उस संदर्भ में आज उन्होंने उनके नामांकन का हमने समर्थन किया है। सर, आप पहले अपॉइंटेड थे जो सोनिया गांधी ने बतौर अध्यक्ष अपॉइंट किया था। अब आज सोनिया गांधी भी या राहुल गांधी गैर गांधी परिवार का कोई अध्यक्ष है, किस तरीके से पार्टी को आप देखते हैं? जो आप जिन रिफॉर्म्स की बात कर रहे थे, देखिए ऐसा है कि हम तो पार्टी को पुनर्जीवित करने के लिए सदा तत्पर रहे हैं और हमारा जो प्रयास है वो जारी रहेगा।
All right, you have Manish Tiwari, one man who's often rebelling against the Congress senior leadership, has said that this is a move in the positive direction or in the right direction, a Congress internal election, a free and fair election to select the top Congress president, the man in the top post, is certainly a welcome move. Manish Tiwari, they're hoping for the best after Mallikarjun Kharge as well as Shashi Tharoor filed their nomination. You have on the right-hand side Shashi Tharoor, who filed his nomination. Many of the party cadres who were present, who cheered on for Tharoor as he filed his nomination. Tharoor seems very well prepared, has come up with a whole plan, a manifesto of sorts on what he would do if he is elected as the Congress president, versus Mallikarjun Kharge, on the other hand, on the left-hand side that you see, he's been flanked with all the flanked by senior leaders like Ashok Gehlot, Digvijaya Singh, has no manifesto, at least from what we know as of now. He has no plan to boast of like Shashi Tharoor, but he certainly has the blessings of the Gandhi family. Let me quickly cut across to Aishwarya Paliwal, who's joining us live from Kharge's residence. Aishwarya, a quick word from you. Tell us, what's the truth? Was there any scope of Mallikarjun Kharge contesting or, nominating himself here until last evening? This was a sudden twist of events and it came to fore right this morning, and that too through Digvijaya Singh's comments. He actually declared that Kharge is going to contest.
और अगर राहुल जी कहते कि वो नहीं लड़ेंगे तो चुनाव हो, दोनों बातें हमारी मान ली है।
All right, you have Prithviraj Chauhan, one of the G23 members. They all now are supporting Mallikarjun Kharge. That's the irony of this situation here, that Shashi Tharoor is part of the dissenting G23 group, but he does not have the support of the G23. On the contrary, Mallikarjun Kharge, who's seen as a Gandhi loyalist, was never part of the G23, now has got overwhelming support from the G23. Aishwarya Paliwal, how do you see this turn of events today?
Well, definitely, it is full of twists and turns. In fact, it was Digvijaya Singh who was the first person to come and meet Mallikarjun Kharge. They spoke for almost an hour, and then we saw Digvijaya Singh going back to his house. And then it was Pramod Tiwari, in fact, who spilled all the beans, spoke to India Today and said that now it looks like Digvijaya Singh will not be contesting. And it was looking since morning that it will be a contest between Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge, and that, Nabila, is how it is looking at the moment. But we all can see the kind of support that Mallikarjun Kharge has gathered. At the moment, it looks like the next Congress president will be Mallikarjun Kharge. Shashi Tharoor, though, is saying that he wants to change a lot of things, wants to shake things up, but how many votes will he actually get is the question that we all need to, that only time will tell. But let me tell you, Nabila, 4th of October is the day when people can take back their names. So we will have to wait and watch for the next 3-4 days how things unfold. But today, as of today, Nabila, it clearly looks like it will be Shashi Tharoor versus Mallikarjun Kharge.
You know, but Aishwarya, I'm going to ignore the last statement you made. Let me start with the first statement you made. It looks like Kharge is going to be the new Congress president. How are you so sure that it will be Kharge will be the man who will be at the helm of affairs? Why do you think that Shashi Tharoor does not have this kind of support that Kharge has?
Well, Well, because members from the G23 are also seemingly looking like supporting Mallikarjun Kharge, the kind of statements which are coming out. He's a man who understands how the party functions. He's someone, who's been around for a very, very long time. And all these things, Nabila, let us not forget, all these things are being done, keeping in mind the very crucial Lok Sabha elections of 2024. So definitely the party is also looking at someone who understands how elections are fought and someone who can make sure that the Congress does really well in 2024. Those are also some of the things that the party high command rather will be definitely looking at. And we did see how Ashok Gehlot also, someone who just almost 24 hours ago said that he is not in the race, coming out right, he came out, he met Mallikarjun Kharge, and then when he came out, he said that he is supporting, and all the senior leaders of the Congress party are supporting Mallikarjun Kharge. So these kind of statements are the ones, Nabila, which at the moment are showing that it looks like that this could be a one-sided contest.
All right, if you're saying a one-sided contest here, then Mallikarjun Kharge wasn't even aware that he was contesting until last evening. How has this, why was this not conveyed in the past? Aishwarya, what do you think happened? How come there was such clamour and push for Kharge versus Digvijaya Singh? Because Digvijaya Singh was really the man who was ideally supposed to be contesting and would have looked like a direct contest between Tharoor and Digvijaya Singh. But just in the nick of time, right this morning, Digvijay stepped back and Kharge came in. What has happened there? We're really eager to know why was there change of mind in the Congress senior leadership.
Well, one of the things which we are picking up, Nabila, no one can be very sure, but what we are picking up, the sense that we are getting is that the party high command maybe was a little more bent and a little more in favor of Mallikarjun Kharge, and all these things happened because it was Ashok Gehlot who is not in the race. Because as far as, if we talk about a few days back, it looked like it could be Ashok Gehlot. He was the one person the Congress party, the high command was banking on. The leaders were also banking on. Things just turned in 24 hours. We have all seen how things have turned around in Rajasthan. And yesterday's meeting with Sonia Gandhi was very crucial. It was only after the meeting that Ashok Gehlot came out and he said in a press conference that I am no longer a part of the race. So all these things, within a couple of hours, we saw all these things changing. Then Sachin Pilot's meeting with Sonia Gandhi late last night, that was also very, very crucial. So all these things, the 2 + 2 = 4. One can see why it has happened. Nabila.
Absolutely. Gehlot on one hand was top choice. Gehlot comes from Rajasthan. Rajasthan going to elections in 2023. The next top choice for the Congress is Kharge, Mallikarjun Kharge, and he hails from Karnataka. Karnataka is going to elections in 2023. It appears that the Congress party, at least for now, looks like have made a strategic choice while choosing Mallikarjun Kharge. He comes from Karnataka. Karnataka going to elections in barely 7 months' time. Will this influence the Congress's prospects in the state of Karnataka? That time will tell, but it appears that that could also be one of the main reasons to why Kharge has been pushed to the front. Listening to several reactions pouring in on this.
I was not prepared for the extraordinarily enthusiastic collection of Congress workers who accompanied me to outside and inside AICC headquarters, and I thank them all through you for their great enthusiasm and show of support for change in the Congress party. Why would I take the trouble to file a nomination today? Why would I welcome the support of so many Karyakartas? As I said, 60 people from around the country are supporting me. Why would I do that in order to withdraw? You must understand, I will not let down the workers from around the country who have gone out of their way to extend their support to me. They have invited me to contest as their representative, and when they ask me and they sign the papers, they sometimes travel long distances to give me their signatures. I am not going to disappoint them by pulling out. I then went and paid tribute at Veer Bhumi, Shakti Sthal, where Rajiv Gandhi is memorialized, the man who built the bridge that took India to the 21st century. And it was a reminder that this election is about the young people of India and about the future of our country. I have a vision for the Congress, for the internal reorganization of the Congress, which I will be sending to every one of the 9,100 and odd delegates. We have just received just now the list of delegates, and we are also going to seek as much information so we can get them our message and seek their support.
शशि थरूर कल भी हमारे मित्र थे, आज भी मित्र हैं, कल भी रहेंगे। पर जहां तक कांग्रेस पार्टी का सवाल है, आप देखेंगे कि जिन सब लोगों ने अपना पूरा जीवन कांग्रेस पार्टी में व्यतीत किया है, वो सारे आज यहाँ पे हैं। दिग्विजय सिंह जी बहुत सत्कारयोग लीडर हैं और दिग्विजय सिंह जी ने बहुत ही ग्रेस दिखाते हुए अपना नामांकन वापस लिया है। तो अगर आम सहमति बन जाए तो अच्छा होगा।
हम स्वागत करते हैं खड़गे जी ने जो फैसला किया है नामांकन भरने का। दशकों का उनका अनुभव रहा है, हर सदन में उन्हें देश के लोगों की आवाज़ उठाई है। मुझे विश्वास है उनके अनुभव का और संतुलित व्यक्तित्व का कांग्रेस पार्टी को लाभ मिलेगा।
खड़गे साहब के अनुभव में लाभ पूरे मुल्क को मिलेगा, पूरे कांग्रेस को मिलेगा। हमें इस बात की बहुत खुशी है। अभी तो विड्रॉल की टाइम और बाकी है, हो सकता है कोई विड्रॉ कर जाए, सच्ची जरूरी विड्रॉ भी कर सकते हैं, कोई नहीं कर सकता। मैं ये मानता हूँ कि जो भी फैसला सीनियर्स ने किया है मिलकर के, खड़गे साहब को खड़ा किया है, सबने मिलकर खड़ा किया है, वो कामयाब होंगे।
संदेश देने की कोशिश है कि चुनाव हो रहा है, ये हमारा संदेश है और कहीं चुनाव नहीं होता।
मैच फिक्स तो नहीं है सलमान साहब, मैच फिक्स
पहले रिजल्ट तो देख लीजिए, रिजल्ट देख लीजिए, फिर मुझसे ये सवाल पूछिएगा। अभी हम क्या जाने क्या होगा, रिजल्ट आने दीजिए। खुलकर चुनाव हो रहा है, सबको इजाज़त है, हम भी खड़े हो सकते थे, कोई और खड़ा हो सकता है। सब लोगों के सामने है और लोग वोट डालेंगे और अपना निर्णय सामने आ जाएगा।
राहुल गांधी रेस से हट गए, पहली बार हो रहा है कि 24 साल में एक गैर गांधी अध्यक्ष बनने जा रहे हैं।
देखिए, इससे कोई समस्या नहीं है। हम बड़ा स्पष्ट पहले से कह चुके हैं, मैं स्वयं कह चुका हूँ कि प्रेसिडेंट और लीडर एक ही नहीं होता है। प्रेसिडेंट भी लीडर होता है, लेकिन एक उसके साथ साथ एक प्रमुख लीडर होता है। प्रमुख लीडर अगर ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं समझता है कि वो ले किसी और को दे, तो उसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है।
There is going to be a contest after Mr. Kharge and Mr. Sachin Pilot are there. There is going to be a contest, and that's quite valid and very democratic system.
My last question is to you, sir. Sir, Mr. Kharge, Mr. Tharoor, both are from southern India. Do you?
I think we should not tend to divide India in all those lines. Actually, you know, it's the entire big organization. Sometimes you have a person as the president from one place at another time from another place, and that's the long history of Congress, which it has actually a witness to it.
हम लोग तो चाहते थे कि हमारे नेता, जन नेता आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी कांग्रेस का अध्यक्ष बने, लेकिन जब उनका निर्देश आ गया कि न वो खड़ा होंगे, न मैडम होंगी, न आदरणीय प्रियंका जी होंगी, तो उनका निर्देश आया कि पार्टी का हर कार्यकर्ता और हर नेता, तो भारतीय वायुसेना से लेके डिप्टी लीडर से लेके मंत्री तक कार्य करने का अनुभव था।
हम कोई औपचारिकता नहीं करते। आप मेरे राज्य में लोगों से आप पूछ लीजिए कि जिन मामलों पर मैं फॉर्म रहता हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं कांग्रेस हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं गांधीवादी हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं राहुल गांधी और सोनिया गांधी का नामों के।
प्रेस के माध्यम से मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि वो उम्मीदवार हैं, तो मैं आज सुबह उनके पास मिलने गया और उनसे मैंने कहा कि आप अगर फॉर्म भर रहे हैं तो मैं पूरे तरीके से आपके साथ हूँ। आप एक वरिष्ठ नेता हैं और हमारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सबसे में से वरिष्ठतम और सम्मानजनक नेता हैं। मैं कभी भी आपके खिलाफ चुनाव लड़ने की बात सोच भी नहीं सकता। आपने वो पहले बता दिया होता तो मैं फॉर्म लेने भी नहीं गया होता, लेकिन अब उनका इरादा है फॉर्म भरने का, तो मैंने कहा कि ठीक है, मैं आपका प्रस्तावक बनूंगा। धन्यवाद। खड़गे जी मेरे नेता हैं, मेरे से सीनियर हैं। कल मैं उनके घर गया था, उनसे मैंने पूछा था कि आप अगर फॉर्म भर रहे हो तो मैं नहीं भरूंगा। उनका कहना था कि मेरा इरादा अभी नहीं है। उसके बाद प्रेस के माध्यम से मुझे मालूम पड़ा कि वो उम्मीदवार हैं, तो मैं आज सुबह उनके पास मिलने गया और उनसे मैंने कहा कि आप अगर फॉर्म भर रहे हैं तो मैं पूरे तरीके से आपके साथ हूँ। आप एक वरिष्ठ नेता हैं और हमारे कांग्रेस पार्टी के सबसे में से वरिष्ठतम और सम्मानजनक नेता है। मैं कभी भी आपके खिलाफ चुनाव लड़ने की बात सोच भी नहीं सकता। आपने वो पहले बता दिया होता तो मैं फॉर्म लेने भी नहीं गया होता, लेकिन अब उनका इरादा है फॉर्म भरने का, तो मैंने कहा है कि ठीक है, मैं आपका प्रस्तावक बनूंगा। धन्यवाद।
All right, here's some big development coming in. Shashi Tharoor now irked with the candidacy of Mallikarjun Kharge. He's quite upset, at least so he seems, while speaking to the media. Really fires at the Congress leadership. Tharoor slams the Congress top brass over Kharge's candidacy. He says that Kharge is a candidate of continuity, almost making it sound as if that Kharge is the Gandhi's choice. If Kharge is at the helm of affairs, it's almost understood that it's the Gandhi family who's in complete control. Shashi Tharoor, who's spoken, let's listen in. In fact, this was inevitable. There was enough and more talk that Mallikarjun Kharge is really the man who has the blessings of the Gandhi family. He's been pushed by the Gandhi family, considering he's a hardened loyalist. It's one of the senior most leaders, except, of course, at this point, that it appears less of a free and fair election, more of favoritism. That's more or less what Shashi Tharoor has tried to express while speaking to the media. He slams Kharge's candidacy, saying that Kharge is a candidate of continuity, making it sound as if Kharge is voted as the new Congress president, it is nothing but the Gandhi family being in complete control, which is precisely what the G23 had opposed to. And why I mentioned G23 is because Shashi Tharoor was very much part of the G23, a dissenting group of the Congress, asking for an organization overhaul, asking for a non-Gandhi face to take over, for several changes, or rather decentralizing power within the party. That's what he said even to Rajdeep Sardesai of India Today just a little while ago, saying that the Congress president's polls is an attempt to decentralize power. Now, with Kharge being pushed to nominate himself and file his nomination for Congress president, it appears that Shashi Tharoor is quite irked. He now says Kharge is a candidate of continuity. In fact, Shashi Tharoor there, who's come very well planned, has given out a whole manifesto on what he's going to do if he wins as the Congress president. Has been very hopeful that he will be elected to this post. Until that, it appears that came until Mallikarjun Kharge's name cropped up. And now that Mallikarjun Kharge has filed his nomination, Shashi Tharoor now sounding slightly doubtful and claiming that Mallikarjun Kharge is nothing but the Congress in power. It's almost as if Kharge is a candidate of continuity. These are the words of Shashi Tharoor, who says in as many words that if Kharge is going to be taking over as a Congress president, is nothing but the Gandhi family itself who is going to be in complete control. Kharge is the candidate of continuity. The words of Shashi Tharoor soon after he filed his nomination. All right, India Today has been on top of the story relentlessly. We're going to continue the coverage on the other side of a short break. But for now, thank you for watching. Traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political background.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories. From every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
The World Health Organization only very recently cited a report to talk about the fact that over 144 million people could be affected by long COVID. In fact, there is enough anecdotal evidence over the last almost 3 years and also several data that seems to be suggesting that long after recovery, there are signs and symptoms and problems associated with COVID-19, and that in short is long COVID. Long COVID is a serious medical condition. In December 2021, the World Health Organization had identified long COVID as post-COVID-19 condition comprising a constellation of long-term symptoms that some people experience after they have had COVID-19 and had named the ones suffering from it as long haulers. Now doctors at Delhi's premier-most All India Institute of Medical Sciences have spoken particularly about 3 kinds of symptoms that are associated with long COVID. This is primarily a brain attack or stroke in arteries. Post-COVID, doctors say there can be development of complications in the brain. There are immediate acute situations like brain attack or stroke in arteries, veins, or brain inflammation. However, doctors have said that research is underway to understand this better.
So we are very clear that COVID, even though mild, may affect people for a longer duration, over up to a year, and create increased incidence of heart attack, strokes. We know that COVID itself, in the acute phases, causes increased incidence of strokes related to clotting, related to inflammation of the arteries, also increased incidence of clots in the brain causing strokes and clots in the lungs. But we are concerned about the long-term effects also.
Doctors say that there has been an increase in brain and heart-related issues during the second wave of the pandemic. In the current scenario, more data is required, is what they say. In fact, according to Dr. Ashok Gehlot, chairman of the Fortis Escorts Heart Institute, a study found says there is an increase of 60% of the incidence of heart-related issues and neurological disorders. The way forward is never to ignore any of the symptoms that have cropped up and also consult a doctor immediately. Long COVID is associated with any kind of COVID infection, even though the infection per se would be mild. There is nothing that's going to really rule long COVID out. This means that COVID, even though mild, may affect people for a longer duration up to a year and create increased incidence of heart attacks and strokes.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
Hello and welcome. You're watching our special broadcast. I'm Dipali Patel. In the next 30 minutes, we will talk about how after several failed attempts, Mani Ratnam's 3-decade-long dream to make Ponniyin Selvan 1 has finally come true. The historical drama is out in theatres and is one of the most anticipated movies of 2022. This magnum opus throws light on the grandeur and legacy of the Chola Empire. So yes, it's also the first Indian film to give a detailed narrative of one of the biggest kingdoms in Indian history. Also, in case you haven't read the 5-volume Tamil novel on which this magnum opus is based on, we on India Today give you a lowdown on all the key characters. Take a look.
Despite multiple failed attempts, Mani Ratnam's 3-decade-long dream to make Ponniyin Selvan 1 is all set to release in theatres. The historical drama is based on the Tamil literary novel of the same name written by Kalki Krishnamurthy. But if you haven't read the 5-volume novel yet, we tell you about the most important characters in the story. Sundara Chorar is the king of the Chora kingdom and has 3 children with his wife and queen Vanavan Mahadevi. In the film, Prakash Raj plays the role of the king, and while Vidya Subramanian will be seen as the queen. Aditya Karikalan is the eldest son of Sundara Chorar and the crown prince. He stays in Kanchipuram, where he's constructed a golden palace. Chiyan Vikram will be seen as saying the role of Aditya Karikalan. Princess Kundavai lives in the Parayarai Palace, which is the capital of the Chola kingdom. She's a woman of virtue and has critical understanding of politics. Trisha Krishnan plays the role of Princess Kundavai. Arulmozhi Varman is the youngest son of Sundara Chorar. The people of the Chola dynasty want Arulmozhi to be the future king as they believe he would make an able leader. He is called Ponniyin Selvan, that's the son of Ponni, and is portrayed in the film by Jayam Ravi.
நான் ஆதித்த கரிகாலரின் நண்பன் வல்லவரையன் வந்தியத்தேவன். எம் இளவரசரோட தோளோடு தோள் நின்று போரிடும் பாக்கியம் எனக்கு.
Vallavarayan Vandiyathevan is the trusted aid and friend of Aditya Karikalan and belongs to the Vana clan which serves the Cholas. He is known for his wit and flirtatious nature. Karthi essays the role of Vandiyathevan.
ஏதோ பூஜை நடப்பது போல இருந்தது. இந்த வாளையெல்லாம் உருவி நீட்டி அங்க என்ன நடந்தது?
Nandini is a grey-shaded character in the film and the wife of Periya Paruvettaraya. She's known for her beauty and charm that makes men fall at her feet. Nandini has a tragic past and is waiting for an opportunity to avenge the men and women who've wronged her. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan will be seen as Nandini. Ponniyin Selvan 1 is set between 900 AD and 950 AD, follows the story of power struggle, deceit and betrayal between multiple kingdoms. Entertainment.
शांत हो जाइए, वो स्टेटमेंट बोलेंगे। आप सबसे आग्रह 2 मिनट शांति, आग्रह 2 मिनट शांत रहिए, प्लीज शांत हो जाइए। विनीत एक बार यार सबको प्लीज।
आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। और आप इतनी देर तक इंतजार किए, इसके लिए भी मैं आप सभी का आभार मानता हूं। आज मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी के ओर से अपना नामांकित पत्र पेश किया हूं और मुझे सभी लीडर्स, कार्यकर्ता, डेलीगेट्स और जितने भी प्रमुख राज्य है, उस राज्य के नेता लोग भी यहाँ पर हाजिर होकर मेरे को प्रोत्साहन किए और नॉमिनेशन भरने के लिए वो खुद यहाँ पर रहे। इसीलिए मैं उन सबको धन्यवाद देता हूं। और मेरे लिए जो सभी डेलीगेट्स, लीडर्स, कार्यकर्ता, कांग्रेस पार्टी के सभी नेतागण जो प्रोत्साहन किए और इस चुनाव में चुनाव लड़ने के लिए मुझे जो सहकार मिला उनको, इसलिए उनका फिर एक बार मैं आभारी हूं। खासकर जो खुद यहाँ पर आकर AICC ऑफिस में वो मेरे नामांकन भरे, प्रपोज किए, सेकंड किए, तो इसीलिए उनको भी मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं। तो बस इससे ज्यादा कुछ नहीं कहता। आगे इलेक्शन चलेगी, 17 तारीख अगर वोटिंग होगी तो 17 तारीख
आला कमान की पहली
और 17 तारीख रिजल्ट्स जो आएंगे वो देखा जाएगा। और मैं आपके ओर से, सभी मीडिया के ओर से भी या सभी नेताओं के ओर से भी मैं यही अपील करूंगा, सारे हमारे डेलीगेट्स, जो वोटर्स हैं वो मेरे पक्ष में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बहुमत बनाकर मुझे जिताएंगे, ये आशा करता हूँ। मैं जो लड़ाई हमेशा लड़ते हुए आया हूँ और लड़ना चाहता हूँ कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के जो उसूल हैं, जो आइडियोलॉजी है, उस आइडियोलॉजी के साथ मैं बचपन से जुड़ा हूँ। जब मैं 8th 9th में पढ़ता था तब मैं पर्चे बांटता था, दीवारों पे लिखने की कोशिश करता था कि इस देश में पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी के उसूलों, गांधी जी के उसूल, डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जिसने संविधान तैयार किया, इन ऐसे नेताओं के विचारधारा को सामने रखते हुए मैं खासकर इस समय मुझे याद करना जरूरी है कि श्रीमती इंदिरा गांधी जी खुद गुलबर्गा आकर हम सबको प्रोत्साहित करके कांग्रेस में एक ऊर्जा तैयार करके कांग्रेस पार्टी में एक काम करने का मौका दिया और पहला टिकट मुझे 1972 में मिला। तब से मैं लगातार चुन के आ रहा हूँ और चुने जा रहा हूँ। ये लोगों का आशीर्वाद है और उसी ढंग से आज मुझे फिर कांग्रेस पार्टी के सभी नेताओं ने आशीर्वाद करके अपने गुड विशेस मेरे साथ रख के आज मुझे कांग्रेस प्रेसिडेंट के लिए ये नामांकित किया गया है। या मैं जो आज जो फॉर्म भर रहा हूँ तो बड़े उत्साह के साथ मेरे साथ सभी लोग जुड़े हैं। सभी को मेरा नमस्कार, धन्यवाद।
क्या कहेंगे सर? जरूर सर के लिए
अरे वो कुछ नहीं, देखो मुझे जो कहना, सुने मुझे जो कहना है मैं कहा हूँ और इसके अलावा मुझे कुछ कहीं नहीं कहना है, बस यही। थैंक यू।
All right, that's Mallikarjun Kharge, who says that he's been loyal to the Congress party ever since he's joined politics. He's been a hardened congressman. He's followed the ideology ever since he was a youth. And he hopes that the best man wins, and he believes that he is fit to carry forward with this position as Congress president. If he's been given the post and if he's elected as the Congress president, he is certainly looking forward to take this party to greater heights. That's what Mallikarjun has said as soon as he steps out after filing his nominations just a few moments ago. In fact, Mallikarjun Kharge has been flanked by Ashok Gehlot and Digvijaya Singh, two of the men who were looked at as contenders, strong contenders in the past. Both of them have withdrawn themselves. Gehlot, in fact, was the top favourite of the Congress party. Gehlot, after all that commotion in Rajasthan, pulled himself out, but he supported Mallikarjun Kharge extensively and came by today to be part of this nomination process of Kharge. Even Digvijaya Singh, who seemed very angry this morning, very visibly upset that he wasn't told that Mallikarjun Kharge was contesting, and then says, I gracefully withdraw because I want to support Kharge. He's a senior leader. He's also now joined in right there beside Mallikarjun Kharge to file his nomination. Mallikarjun Kharge has filed his nomination. He stepped out and spoken. If we can get Mallikarjun Kharge's reaction yet again, we're going to try and patch that for you. In fact, Shashi Tharoor a little while ago, we hear has said that Kharge's candidacy is nothing but continuity. Basically trying to indicate that if Kharge is made the Congress president, it will almost be like the Congress Gandhi family itself in complete control. These are the words of Shashi Tharoor, who seems quite annoyed with the fact that Kharge has contested, or he's filed his nomination, and that was something that was not communicated largely until this morning. It was quite a surprise when Kharge's news of his nomination came to fore. It came as a huge surprise for a large chunk of the Congress leaders, including Shashi Tharoor and Digvijaya Singh, who himself was trying to file his nomination. Maushami Singh, who's joining us right outside the Congress headquarters. Maushami, Mallikarjun Kharge has filed his nomination. He's come out and spoken, saying he's willing to take this post if he's been given, if he's been elected, and is confident that he'll be able to guide the party in the right direction. But we still fail to understand how is there no news of Mallikarjun Kharge contesting until last evening, but suddenly this development came by this morning, and that too, Digvijaya Singh had to declare it, looking very upset that he too was caught unaware.
See, Nabila, I don't think Digvijay was upset because I feel that Digvijay knew right from the start, and most of the inner circle of the Congress knew that there would be a third name. There would be a name from one of the trusted lieutenants of the Gandhi family, because Ashok Gehlot had declared earlier in the day yesterday that he is backing out from the race because he's really upset with what has happened and transpired in Rajasthan. So this was a strategy by the Congress party, because they knew that they had to get in a candidate who would be acceptable to all, who would be in fact a close aide of the Gandhi family. Digvijay had already tweeted out that I have not spoken to any of the Gandhi family members or gone and met them. So Digvijay what happened in Rajasthan was a trigger for Digvijay to take the nomination papers, but he stopped short of filing them after he came to know Mallikarjun Kharge is in the race. Importantly, Mallikarjun Kharge brings with him a lot of political experience, years of work in the Karnataka Assembly, here in the ministries, in the UPA government, and also in the organization. Coming from the grassroots, hailing from a Dalit community, the Congress party and the party high command thought he was the perfect trump card to in fact head the post once Ashok Gehlot had actually backed out.
All right, Maushami, stay with us. We know there's a lot of commotion there. I'm going to play out what Mallikarjun Kharge said soon as he stepped out after filing his nomination. But before that, Shashi Tharoor had spoken to India Today's Rajdeep Sardesai on how he's very confident that he can take on the mantle and take the party forward in the right direction. And he also specifically stressed on how there should be decentralization of power within the Congress party. But will that really happen if Kharge is at the helm of affairs, is the question. Let's listen in. Shashi Tharoor speaking exclusively to India Today.
Shashi Tharoor as Congress president, at a time when no one really seemed to want to contest the poll, you from almost day one said, I want to contest this election for Congress president. Most believe it's a crown of thorns, whoever becomes president. What made you contest?
Because I really believe that the Congress party is needed by the country, and frankly business as usual in the party is not going to take us anywhere. We've had 2 general elections at 19%. We need to break free. We need to appeal to a larger constituency than we've been able to appeal in the last couple of elections. And at the same time, we've got to stop this hemorrhage of good people leaving the party for good or bad reasons. We need to be able to therefore both revive and rebuild the party inside, and at the same time appeal to more voters outside. We have to challenge the seeming hegemony of the BJP and Mr. Modi.
But many are saying that is Shashi Tharoor really the right person for Congress president? He has no organizational experience. He is not a Hindi heartland politician, the area where the Congress has suffered the most in recent times. Is Shashi Tharoor really the right person to be Congress president, a party that needs organizational revival?
First of all, the 9,100 voters of the Congress party, the PCC delegates, will decide that, whether I'm the right person or not, and if they find somebody else is the right person, more power to him or her. What I will say, however, is that given the fact that so many of our recent problems have stemmed from the way in which the organization is being run, I don't think that the disadvantage, so-called, of not being entrenched in the organization is such a disadvantage. In some ways, I come without the baggage of having any vested interests in the way in which we've been running the organization, and part of my message to my voters is going to be let's change the way the organization is run. Let's decentralize authority in the party.
Bharat Jodo Yatra, which has just gone through your home state of Kerala, the focus entirely on Rahul Gandhi. All of you go to Sonia Gandhi's residence at 10 Janpad. Almost it seems to take approval from her before you file your nomination. So the sense is that this is a private limited company controlled by the Gandhis, and Shashi Tharoor or Digvijaya Singh, the two candidates so far, will at best be there as Congress presidents, but accountable to the Gandhi family. Is that how I should see it or not?
No, look, the DNA of the party is inextricably linked to the DNA of the Gandhi-Nehru family. There's no doubt about that. And this dynasty talk, frankly, is really not very serious, because every party in our country, DMK, Shiv Sena, Samajwadi, you name your party, you'll find that there is a certain dynastic tradition there.
But that may not be necessarily healthy. The question
I'm not saying it's healthy.
What will the relationship be between the Congress president and the family?
I'm just saying these ideas of dynasty work as long as they are of appeal to the voting public. If the Gandhis have had a great deal of authority in the Congress, it's because they win votes for the Congress. That people love them. And let's face it, even Rahul Gandhi, whom you're all busy criticizing, you should have seen the public adulation that met him at every step while he was walking in Bharat Jodo. We can't just completely close our eyes to this. There is a tremendous appeal still.
Sure.
Now, Rahul Gandhi has chosen not to translate that appeal into being president of the party. That's his privilege. But why would the party be foolish enough to say, we've got a proven vote winner amongst us who's got this great admiration? Why wouldn't we continue to welcome his involvement to the extent that he wishes to be involved?
No, so
the same with Sonia Gandhi, the same with Priyanka Gandhi.
No, so what is the relationship? A, they're not vote gatherers anymore. They were vote gatherers, the Gandhi family. You've lost 2 consecutive elections big time against the BJP, against a Modi-led juggernaut. My question again is this: relationship between Congress president and the Gandhi family?
I think it'll have to evolve in practice. They will have to choose their own role, how far they're going to be involved. The president, in turn, whoever the person is, will have to find creative ways of engaging them and using their undoubted charisma and appeal to the benefit of the Congress party and its message. Look, no Democrat came to power disavowing the Kennedys. No conservative replaced Churchill and started saying, I won't talk about Churchill. You should all want to hail the great leaders you've got, and I think we should do that, while at the same time looking beyond and doing what you can do.
Even though your own home state, Kerala,
Kerala too.
They've not endorsed your
No, but there's no formal endorsement.
You're seen as an English speaker. I come back to it. Is that a disadvantage? The fact
Radeep,
that
I have
Shashi
won
Tharoor
3
doesn't
elections.
know Hindi well enough, is not from the Hindi heartland?
Listen, first of all, I've won 3 elections, which you can't win by speaking in English. I've gone out. Thiruvananthapuram, despite being the capital of Kerala, is 66% rural. There's no question about it. There are people there who are ordinary fisherfolk, ordinary hill dwellers, ordinary Adivasis as well. And I'm getting their votes. So I'm not doing this as a Latvian's liberal. I'm doing this as somebody who connects with people and who understands their needs and delivers whatever services I can to them. That's number one. Number two, on the Hindi heartland, that's a different issue. I agree with you that our country's political idiom is strongly turning towards Hindi, particularly under BJP rule. But let's not forget that it's entirely possible for somebody who's not from the Hindi heartland to also speak to and listen to, more importantly, the problems of people from the Hindi heartland. I do speak adequate Hindi. I've been giving sound bites every day outside the Lok Sabha. बस ठीक है, आप मुझे प्रश्न पूछ लीजिए, मैं आपको जवाब देता हूँ.
चलिए, मैं आपको कठिन प्रश्न हिंदी में पूछ लेता हूँ.
क्यों नहीं?
और कठिन प्रश्न ये है कि हाई कमांड जो है कांग्रेस में,
हाई कमांड तो अच्छी हिंदी नहीं है.
नहीं, वो गांधी फैमिली से जुड़ा हुआ है. क्या ये चुनाव आप एक तरह से हाई कमांड के खिलाफ लड़ रहे हैं? You said that you want
किसी के खिलाफ
नहीं, you said you want decentralization in the party. Many are suggesting, people like you are in a way questioning the way the Gandhis have run the party. Somewhere, are you accepting that or not? That you are questioning the way the Gandhis are running the party?
We're not against anybody. हम किसी के खिलाफ नहीं है, to go back to Hindi since that's what you wanted. लेकिन हम चाहते हैं कि जो हमारी सिचुएशन अभी जो है, इसको अगर आप बदलाव ले आने चाहते हैं तो आपको किसी नई तरीका आपको पता करना चाहिए. We have to find new ways of addressing old problems. And the truth is, frankly, business as usual is no longer possible. The truth is that is ultimately what many people claim has led us to our present plight. And therefore,
when you say business as usual, let me start. Are you saying the old way of dynastical politics? The Congress is identified today with the Gandhi family, with a certain dynastical style of running the party. Even Rahul Gandhi is questioned largely because he's seen to be an entitled dynast. Do you believe the time has come to break away from that? Is this a candidature endorsed by the Gandhi family, by Rahul Gandhi?
No, no candidate has been endorsed by the Gandhi family. They've taken a very, very constructive view that says that election is good for the party, that the more the party workers get a chance to express their views on this, the more the party will be strengthened, and that they themselves will stay neutral and above the fray. That's been communicated to me, that's been communicated to Digvijaya Singh, and as far as I'm concerned, if there's a third candidate in the last day today, they're going to communicate the same thing to them as well. So, to my understanding, the Gandhi family says, no official candidate, we are not playing favorites, go out, good luck, we encourage you to contest. So, at the same time, it's important to stress, no one is running against anybody. This is not a question of a battle amongst rivals as we have between parties. It's a friendly contest amongst colleagues. We all share the same broad orientation. We are Congress people. We want the Congress ideology to prevail. We want Congress to win, and we want to stand up stoutly against the majoritarianism and the bigotry of the BJP. On all this, there is no disagreement. But we may have different views on how to do it. For example, I'm not somebody who's very entrenched in the way the organization has functioned so far. As you've rightly pointed out, I'm not seen as an organization man. Though I might say, I created, as the founder chairman, the All India Professionals Congress, which showed that there is a different way of running things within the Congress family, which can be made to work. And I have a very different structure, which might actually be something the parent party could also learn from. So there are things that we can do. There's a number of things the Congress used to do, we've ceased to do. One of them is we had very strong state leaders, remember in Nehruji's time. People like B.C. Roy or Atulya Ghosh in Bengal, of Govind Vallabh Pant in UP. These people gave the Congress a very strong base of strong state leaders on whom the Congress's top pyramid was built. Today we've inverted the pyramid. All the power is on top, the state leaders don't matter. We need to change that. We need to create a situation, it seems to me, where the ordinary Karyakarta feels that he has access to whoever can take decisions that affect his daily life. And frankly, at the moment, many people feel they haven't got that opportunity, they're disempowered. So let's try and change all of this. This is not a criticism of what went before, because what went before worked for a while, and it has essentially ceased to work now. So let's try something.
Feeling safe and secure is important to all of us out there, right? Well, the Global Peace Index ranks the safest countries in the world to reside in. Let's find out which are the top 5 safest countries in the world. Iceland. Iceland is the safest country globally for the 13th year in a row. Iceland has a population of 340,000. It also has a low level of crime attributed to its high standard of living, strong social attitudes against crime, and a lack of tension between social and economic classes. Here's a surprising fact: Iceland doesn't have an army, and the police do not carry firearms. The country's laws guarantee equality, same-sex marriages, adoptions, religious freedom, and equal pay for men and women. New Zealand. Like Iceland, New Zealand is a safe space for people to reside in. But due to the terror attacks on 2 mosques back in 2019, its score has slightly decreased. New Zealand laws prevent abuse of anyone's freedom of speech and expression. Portugal. Portugal was ranked 18th on the Peace Index. Ever since the country has made huge strides to be ranked 3rd. Portugal has armed police, but the increased police presence in the country has reduced its crime levels. In the past few years, Portugal has made an economic resurgence, decreasing its unemployment rate from 17% to under 7%. Austria. Austria has kept its 4th place. The country's political instability has led to an increase in social unrest. But serious crimes here are rare. The country has spared any acts of major terrorism. Denmark. Denmark is one of the few places where even children report they feel safe at any time of the day. The country has a high level of equality and a strong sense of common responsibility. Corruption is rare here in business or politics. Denmark is also a welfare state, meaning that everyone receives services and perks that help them live comfortable lives. These are the top safest countries to live in. Which rank is your country at? Don't forget to tell us in the comment sections.
Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra is also on and is set to enter first BJP-ruled state, Karnataka. Ahead of the party's Yatra arrival in the state, posters have been put up to welcome Rahul Gandhi but were found torn in the state's Gundlupet area. Congress leaders are now accusing the BJP cadre of tearing these posters and hoardings of Rahul Gandhi and other Congress Neta that were put up on the highway passing through Gundlupet. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said permission must have been taken in advance to put up these flexes. He's also said Congress is not doing Bharat Jodo Yatra but Bharat Todo Yatra. But these posters that were found torn comes day after the Congress launched a poster reading Pay CM with, remember, the Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai's face on it and even other netas and ministers posing with that photoshopped image. BJP has also launched a counter campaign on social media by sharing a QR code posters with Siddaramaiah and DK Shivkumar's face on it.
BJP ಅವರು ಪಾಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ಯಾನರ್ನ ಹರಿದಾಕಿ ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾವೇನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ಹೆದರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಂಥವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಎದುರಿಸಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅಭಿಯಾನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಲಿ, ಅವರು ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಮಗೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತರಿಗೂ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ.
ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಯಾರೇ ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಲಿ ಪರ್ಮಿಷನ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹಾಕಬೇಕು. ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ತೊಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಪಕ್ಷ ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಹರಿಯುವಂಥದ್ದು ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಜನರಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಯಾರು ಭಾರತ್ ಜೋಡೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾರು ಭಾರತ್ ತೋಡೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ.
All dirty tricks from the BJP. So far we had CPM in Kerala and we were in Tamil Nadu where the ruling party, we were part of the ruling coalition. We are entering now BJP territory.
Yes.
We are prepared for all sorts of dirty tricks. These dirty tricks can be to run false social media campaigns. These dirty tricks could be to damage the reputation of the Congress party and of Sri Rahul Gandhi. This dirty tricks could be to sabotage. And they may even resort to violence. I don't put anything past the BJP.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to do a rethink on how we lead our lives, to think about what we are doing to our bodies and to our health, and also wellness, because it is time now to go back to the basics. It is time to talk about your food, your sleep habits, your gut health, stress, and much more. And that exactly is what our brand new health show, Health 360, is going to do at these times only on India Today TV.
जैसे कहीं चांद की पायल गूंजे, जैसे कहीं शीशे के जाम गिरे और छल से टूटे, जैसे कोई चुपके से तार बजाए, जैसे कोई चांदनी रात में गाए, जैसे कोई हॉल से पास बुलाए। कैसी मीठी बातें थी वो, कैसी मुलाकातें थी वो, जब मैंने जाना था नजरों से कैसे पिघलते हैं दिल और आरज़ू पाती है कैसे मंजिल, और कैसे उतरता है चांद ज़मीन पर, कैसे कभी लगता है स्वर्ग अगर है तो बस यहीं पर।
Co-presented by only OLX Autos gives the best price for your car.
You are watching India Today.
Hello, very good afternoon. You're watching India Today TV. I'm Sneha Mordani. Let's get you started with the top stories in this edition. Top contenders Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge filed nominations for Congress president polls. G23 leaders turned proposers for Mallikarjun Kharge. After filing nomination, Tharoor fires at Congress leadership over Kharge's candidature, calls Kharge candidate of continuity. Congress Yatra enters first BJP-ruled state, Karnataka. Rahul fires fresh salvo at the RSS, says RSS is spreading divisions in the society. Prime Minister Modi's day 2 of Gujarat outreach inaugurates mega infrastructure projects, flags off Gandhinagar to Mumbai Vande Bharat Express and Ahmedabad Metro. Putin signs executive orders on recognizing Kherson and Zaporizhia. Ukraine President Zelensky calls Russia terrorist state and a bloodthirsty scum. Hurricane Ian pounds Florida. Raging floodwaters wreak havoc. Rain, storm and blackouts across the U.S. state. Some news just coming in this afternoon. The BJP has taunted Kharge's candidature. BJP's young and energetic jibe at Kharge. Kharge, 80 years old, is an inspiring choice. Mallikarjun Kharge at 80 is an inspiring choice for the Congress president, is what Amit Malviya has tweeted. He is young, energetic and just what the Congress needed to ensure its revival. He should just pick Dr. Manmohan Singh's manual on living by the remote control. And it is all sorted. Shashi Tharoor continues to hang in. Scathing attack there from the BJP with Amit Malviya putting this out, saying 80-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge is exactly what the Congress needed. An inspiring choice for the Congress president. He's young, he's energetic, and just what the Congress needed to ensure its revival. He should just pick Dr. Manmohan Singh's manual on living by the remote control, and it is all sorted. Shashi Tharoor continues to hang in is what the BJP is now taunting the Congress with. Mosmi is getting us more details on that story. Mosmi, in fact, this was a concern raised by many within the Congress, if not in front of the cameras, at least behind, given that Mallikarjun Kharge is a seasoned leader, but at the end of the day, it is not something that the Congress would have really wanted, isn't it? 80 years and more. We'll just go back to Mosmi for a moment. We are in fact talking about Shashi Tharoor right now. Let's go straight to this information on Shashi Tharoor. Well, it does appear that the stage is now set for Mallikarjun Kharge versus Shashi Tharoor showdown for the post of the next Congress president. While the party has termed it as a friendly contest really between the two veterans, the situation on the ground is actually very different. It was Tharoor who filed his nomination first. flanked by a few of his supporters, but shunned by all leaders of any prominence in the party. And why was that? Because all the bigwigs, including the G23 leaders, were standing beside Kharge as he filed his nomination. The actions of the top party leaders did not go down well with Tharoor, who's clearly a man on the mission, calling Kharge's candidature a move to continue everything that's wrong with the Congress. The MP from Kerala took a veiled dig once again at the top leadership, saying they're answerable to why Kharge was getting an official candidate treatment. The race for who will be the Congress chief is heating up. The battle is now between Gandhi loyalist Mallikarjun Kharge against Shashi Tharoor. Digvijaya Singh, considered to be one of the closest aides of the Gandhis, has pulled out of the race just days after confirming his candidature. Tharoor, one of the staunchest critics of the High Command in the recent times, has now filed his nomination for the Congress chief's post. Kendra Party, a former Jharkhand MLA, also entered this race. Kharge, now a front-runner for the Congress top job, currently has the backing of the Gandhi family, Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, among others. Digvijaya Singh has thrown his weight behind Kharge as well.
आज मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी की ओर से अपना नामांकित पत्र पेश किया हूं और मुझे सभी लीडर्स, कार्यकर्ता, डेलीगेट्स और जितने भी प्रमुख राज्य है उस राज्य के नेता लोग भी यहाँ पर हाजिर होकर मेरे को प्रोत्साहन किए और नॉमिनेशन भरने के लिए वो खुद यहाँ पर रहे, इसीलिए मैं उन सबको धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
I was not prepared for the extraordinarily enthusiastic collection of Congress workers who accompanied me to outside and inside AICC headquarters, and I thank them all through you for their great enthusiasm and show of support for change in the Congress party.
My colleague Mosmi Singh is getting us more details on that party. Mosmi, you've been tracking the Congress for years together now, and we all know what exactly the Congress really needs is energy. Fresh energy, new energy, and that's the reason why Rahul Gandhi and many of his associates have taken on as the role of the president of the Congress party, with his associates supporting him. Now we are talking about an 80-year-old Mallikarjun Kharge. At the end of the day, a very, very seasoned leader. But what about the young energy within the Congress? It does appear that the Gandhis are actually backing him, isn't it, from the optics of it?
Absolutely, Sneha, you got that absolutely correct. And importantly, you know, the optics played out in full swing with all the bigwigs of the Congress party, you know, a battery of leaders standing shoulder to shoulder with Mallikarjun Kharge, all the excitement brewing in the air. But if you looked at the atmosphere outside at the Congress headquarters, or if you looked at what the supporters were saying, there was, it was a dampener for them, many of them. Many were quite taken aback by the choice of Mallikarjun Kharge, because this was supposed to be a revamp. It was supposed to be a new, fresh lease of life for the Congress party. Mallikarjun Kharge has his own strong points, but the question was whether he would be the right choice as far as becoming the president of the party is concerned. Importantly, you know, the Rajasthan fiasco is only to be blamed for the state state of affairs and the choice of Mallikarjun Kharge, because this was after hectic late night parlays there that Mallikarjun Kharge's name was finally churned out of all the discussions and deliberations. Ashok Gehlot backing out, Sachin Pilot meeting Sonia Gandhi, and then thereafter you have the name of Mallikarjun Kharge. And with Digvijaya Singh withdrawing, a lot of party workers from Madhya Pradesh were here. They were also very disappointed that Digvijay was out of the race. One will have to wait and see how the Congress really answers that question, but perhaps they'll be looking at a balance of young and old, with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and others pitching in for the young guard, and then the old guard, Mallikarjun Kharge, adding to the Congress's experience and the kitty of knowledge. So perhaps the Congress trying to strike a balance there, with Rahul Gandhi taking the Padyatra, remaining in the field, and Mallikarjun Kharge manning the Congress headquarters from Delhi.
Very interesting developments, Mosmi. And I think things are changing by the second, isn't it? I mean, Mallikarjun Kharge is now looks like the consensus candidate, so to speak, and this is what Shashi Tharoor is extremely upset about. Be with us. We'll come back to you for more details on that story, Mosmi, and we're getting in these reactions that have been pouring in on the churning within the Congress.
By all means that we can, to our party workers, and today we have a copy for each of you, which explains how we hope to rejuvenate the party, to decentralize the organization of the party, to reimagine the role of our headquarters in order to empower the grassroots, to reiterate the core ideology of the party. We'll have it in English and Hindi. To broaden participation, to reinvigorate our election management, to focus on youth. The youth are the future, and youth are already the majority in our country. A bigger role for women, reaching out to industry and professionals whom we need to take India forward in this century, and finally, a return to the ethos of politics as social work between elections. We are not just a machine for winning elections every 5 years. We must serve the people of India.
खड़गे साहब के अनुभव के लाभ पूरे मुल्क को मिलेगा, पूरे कांग्रेस को मिलेगा, हमें इस बात की बहुत खुशी है। अभी तो विड्रॉल की टाइम और बाकी है, हो सकता है कोई विड्रॉ करता है, शशि थरूर जी विड्रॉ भी कर सकता है, कोई नहीं कर सकता। मैं ये मानता हूँ कि जो भी फैसला सीनियर्स ने किया है मिलकर के, खड़गे साहब को खड़ा किया है, सबने मिलकर खड़ा किया है, वो कामयाब होंगे।
शशि थरूर कल भी हमारे मित्र थे, आज भी मित्र हैं, कल भी रहेंगे, पर जहाँ तक कांग्रेस पार्टी का सवाल है, आप देखेंगे कि जिन सब लोगों ने अपना पूरा जीवन कांग्रेस पार्टी में व्यतीत किया है, वो सारे आज यहाँ पे हैं। दिग्विजय सिंह जी बहुत सत्कार योग्य लीडर हैं, और दिग्विजय सिंह जी ने बहुत ही ग्रेस दिखाते हुए अपना नामांकन वापस लिया है। तो अगर आम सहमति बन जाए तो अच्छा होगा।
सर, क्या आपको लगता है जो चुनाव की ये प्रक्रिया है, इससे एक अच्छा मैसेज
में कांग्रेस पार्टी में चुनाव होता है संविधान के अनुसार, और भी जो है इसके बाद भी जो आवश्यक है, मुझे ऐसा विश्वास है कि वो भी होगा। कांग्रेस कार्यकारिणी के भी चुनाव होंगे, और एक समावेशी सामूहिक नेतृत्व कांग्रेस को आगे लेकर चलेगा।
शशि थरूर कैंडिडेट को कैसे?
मेरी शुभकामनाएं
दी, पर समर्थन नहीं दिया आप लोगों ने।
अब वो तो अपने अपने सोच और निर्णय है।
आपका ग्रुप का हिस्सा थे
वो तो बहुत थे, वो तो इलेक्शन अथॉरिटी में भी बैठे हैं, वो तो मुकुल वासनिक भी थे, कई प्रस्तावक उसी का हिस्सा थे। कोई एक पार्टी में गुट नहीं था। हमने सुधार की बात की थी, सुझाव दिए थे, वो गुट नहीं था।
हम स्वागत करते हैं खड़गे जी ने जो फैसला किया है नामांकन भरने का, दशकों का उनका अनुभव रहा है, हर सदन में उन्हें देश के लोगों की आवाज़ उठाई है। मुझे विश्वास है उनके अनुभव का और संतुलित व्यक्तित्व का कांग्रेस पार्टी को लाभ मिलेगा।
संदेश देने की कोशिश है कि चुनाव हो रहा है, ये हमारा संदेश है, और कहीं चुनाव नहीं होता।
मैच फिक्स तो नहीं है सलमान साहब, मैच फिक्स।
पहले रिजल्ट तो देख लीजिए, रिजल्ट देख लीजिए, फिर मुझसे ये सवाल पूछिएगा। अभी हम क्या जाने क्या होगा, रिजल्ट आने दीजिए। खुलकर चुनाव हो रहा है, सबको इजाज़त है, हम भी खड़े हो सकते थे, कोई और खड़ा हो सकता है, सब लोगों के सामने हैं और लोग वोट डालेंगे और अपना निर्णय सामने आ जाएगा।
राहुल गांधी रेस से हट गए, पहली बार हो रहा है कि 24 साल में एक गैर गांधी अध्यक्ष बनने जा रहे हैं।
देखिए, इससे कोई समस्या नहीं है, हम बड़ा स्पष्ट पहले से कह चुके हैं, मैं स्वयं कह चुका हूँ कि प्रेसिडेंट और लीडर एक ही नहीं होता है। प्रेसिडेंट भी लीडर होता है, लेकिन एक उसके साथ साथ एक प्रमुख लीडर होता है। प्रमुख लीडर अगर ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं समझता है कि वो ले किसी और को दे, तो उसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है।
He is the senior most leader of the Congress party, and therefore I have the greatest regard for him, of his services to the Congress party, and I will support him.
There is going to be a contest. After Mr. Kharge and Mr. Sachin Pilot are there, there is going to be a contest, and that's quite valid and very democratic system.
My last question is to you, sir. Mr. Kharge, Mr. Tharoor, both are from southern India.
I think we should not tend to divide India in all those lines. Actually, you know, it's the entire big organization. Sometimes you have a person as the president from one place, at another time from another place, and that's the long history of Congress, which it has actually a witness to it.
हम लोग तो चाहते थे कि हमारे नेता, जन नेता आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी कांग्रेस का अध्यक्ष बने, लेकिन जब उनका निर्देश आ गया कि न वो खड़ा होंगे, न मैडम होंगी, न आदरणीय प्रियंका जी होंगी, तो उनका निर्देश आया कि पार्टी का हर कार्यकर्ता और हर नेता, तो भारतीय वायुसेना से लेके डिप्टी लीडर से लेके मंत्री तक कार्य करने का अनुभव था। हम कोई औपचारिकता नहीं करते। आप मेरे राज्य में लोगों से आप पूछ लीजिए कि जिन मामलों पर मैं फॉर्म रहता हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं कांग्रेस हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं गांधीवादी हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं राहुल गांधी और सोनिया गांधी का नामों के।
Okay, now we're getting you all the details of what's really going on. Right inside Chaubis Akbar Road, where all the action is, this is the AICC headquarters in the national capital. With so high drama today, now several leaders have come out in support of Mallikarjun Kharge, and Shashi Tharoor has also not really minced his words in making his disappointment clear about this. From what it appears that Kharge has the blessings of the Gandhis, though he is no official candidate, so to speak, and the fight is between Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge. Senior leaders of the Congress, many of them, Digvijaya Singh, as you can see on your screens, giving their support to Mallikarjun Kharge. So from the optics of it, what is evident really is that the top leaders of the party, along with the Gandhis possibly, have given their support to Mallikarjun Kharge and not to Shashi Tharoor. So is it clear now who really will be the top boss? We'll continue to keep a very close eye on that story. For the moment, we're shifting focus to some news just coming in. Prime Minister Modi's cavalcade is stopped to give way to an ambulance in Ahmedabad. This when we've seen VIP movement inconveniencing citizens. We have the Prime Minister's cavalcade there stopping to give way to an ambulance. That's the story we're getting at this hour. Unprecedented move in that sense, given that there are various, in fact, lots of security concerns when it comes to the Prime Minister's cavalcade. Several VVIP netas often in the past have not shown this respect and not shown this responsibility to an ambulance which could be having a serious patient inside it and not given way. The Prime Minister has set an example, isn't it, today? Saurabh.
That Prime Minister Narendra Modi was attending an event in Ahmedabad of opening ceremony of Metro, Ahmedabad Metro Phase 1, and after which he left for Gandhinagar. And let me tell you, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tight security protocols. SPG themselves take care of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's security. The whole road are actually blocked at least 1 hour before the convoy passes. But when Prime Minister Narendra Modi saw that there is an emergency in an ambulance, and that is when the main convoy of Prime Minister Narendra Modi kept complete left in the main road, and from the right side, the ambulance passes. And what an example set by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that how his whole convoy, his whole security team and whole cavalcade was on the left side of the road, and the ambulance passes from the main road. This is an example which is set by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that how in an emergency situation, everything was set aside and ambulance was given a way to pass by.
All right, Saurav, thanking you for the moment. We'll keep coming back to you for more on what really happened. But for our viewers, that's the Prime Minister's cavalcade that you see on your screens, stopping by and giving way to an ambulance. And that's an example that the Prime Minister has set today. With that report, it's time for a quick commercial break. And news continues in just 2 minutes. Do stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
खेल पत्रकारिता में करियर बनाने का सुनहरा मौका। ज्वाइन करें इंडिया टुडे मीडिया इंस्टीट्यूट।
रजिस्टर करने के लिए www.indiatodaymediainstitute.in पर विजिट करें।
भगवान कसम ये फिल्म देखते हुए मुझे चक्कर आ रहे थे।
Yep, this is what people have to say about the film Liger. I'm sure you know that Liger didn't fare quite well at the box office, but did you know that it did so badly that producers had to in fact return money to distributors? It's not just Liger, even Amir Khan's Lal Singh Chaddha had to return money to their distributors. This really scares Bollywood, as even big stars' films are tanking at the box office. A film producer and a business analyst, Girish Johar, has said, and I quote, "It is important to retain goodwill and ensure the next film is bought. In the post-pandemic scenario, everyone across the chain wants to make money." In the case of Liger, Vijay Deverakonda had to return a whopping 6 crore rupees to producers. The film was made on a budget of 100 crore rupees and it has barely made a third at the box office. Same with Amir Khan's Lal Singh Chaddha. He reportedly had to return money to distributors after the losses of the film at the box office. Compensating money to distributors is really just one part of the ordeal here. The bigger rising issue is the success quotient of Bollywood. Festival season has just about begun, and with big budget films flopping at the box office, the pressure now is mounting on films that are yet to be released. From now all the way to the new year, cutting through Diwali, are some of the big budget films with prominent stars due for release. And filmmakers now are quite afraid that their films won't do well. Apart from this is a boycott Bollywood trend that's really hampered business for Bollywood. In fact, this trend forces trolls, these troll armies, to actually persuade people to boycott Bollywood cinema entirely. This trend has caught on and has really led to many films flopping, directly, indirectly. Like Akshay Kumar's Prithvi Raj, Taapsee Pannu's Dobara, and a few others. And now the recent trend on Twitter is boycott Brahmastra. It is a star-studded film with Alia Bhatt, Amitabh Bachchan, Ranbir Kapoor, among many others. What will be the fate of this film? Well, in the past, many Bollywood films have flopped at the box office. The difference from the past is that even the films with top stars are not getting decent box office returns. So basically, compensating distributors is just one part of the story. The real issue here is to ensure that they deliver a good film with a good storyline. How will Bollywood get this right? That's the problem here. They've got to find a solution and a way around this. What are your thoughts on several of these Bollywood films tanking at the box office? Do let us know in the comments below.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Everyone's busy finding what's trending. You're busy finding out why. India Today, for those who research before reacting. Download the India Today app now.
Hello and welcome to an India Today special, where our guest today
is someone who is never far from the headlines, and he's making the news once again. He's filed his nomination for Congress President, Congress three-time MP from Thiruvananthapuram, and also out with another book, this time on Dr. Ambedkar. Dr. Shashi Tharoor, welcome to this special.
Thank you, Rajdeep.
Let's start with Shashi Tharoor as Congress President. At a time when no one really seemed to want to contest the poll, you from almost day one said, I want to contest this election for Congress President. Most believe it's a crown of thorns, whoever becomes president. What made you contest?
Because I really believe that the Congress party is needed by the country. And frankly, business as usual in the party is not going to take us anywhere. We've had two general elections at 19%. We need to break free. We need to appeal to a larger constituency than we've been able to appeal in the last couple of elections. And at the same time, we've got to stop this hemorrhage of good people leaving the party for good or bad reasons. We need to be able to therefore both revive and rebuild the party inside and at the same time appeal to more voters outside. We have to challenge the seeming hegemony of the BJP and Mr. Modi.
But many are saying that is Shashi Tharoor really the right person for Congress President? He has no organizational experience. He is not a Hindi heartland politician, the area where the Congress has suffered the most in recent times. Is Shashi Tharoor really the right person to be Congress President, a party that needs organizational revival?
First of all, the 9,100 voters of the Congress party, the PCC delegates, will decide that, whether I'm the right person or not. And if they find somebody else is the right person, more power to him or her. What I will say, however, is that given the fact that so many of our recent problems have stemmed from the way in which the organization is being run, I don't think that the disadvantage, so-called, of not being entrenched in the organization is such a disadvantage. In some ways, I come without the baggage of having any vested interests in the way in which we've been running the organization. And part of my message to my voters is going to be, let's change the way the organization is run. Let's decentralize authority in the party. And that's part of what I'm contesting for.
You know, when you say decentralize the authority, it almost seems that Shashi Tharoor is fatiguing of this high command culture of the Congress. Because one of the other disadvantages apparently is you're a so-called member of the so-called G23.
So-called is right.
This rebel group against the Gandhi family or against the party high command culture. In a way, are you representing that rebellious group within the Congress?
First of all, the group is in your imagination of the media, frankly, Rajdeep, because the truth is that a number of senior colleagues wanted to write a letter and they reached out to people who happened to be available in Delhi during the COVID lockdown. And so 23 people were around. They said at the time they'd spoken to over 100 around the country, but because of the lockdown, people couldn't come here and sign it. So the sympathizers for these thoughts were much more widespread. So I don't think G23 as some sort of organizational entity makes any sense. It didn't exist. And some of its members have now left the party. Others have moved on. Some of you know, one has even gone to the BJP. So it's no longer a coherent entity. And I'm not running as a representative of the G23 or anybody else. I am only running because a sufficiently broad number of party colleagues, and I mean ordinary colleagues, not the grandees in the party, urged me to do so. And they wanted me to do so not so much because of any specific experience that I would bring into the organization. As I say, my own instinct is actually to decentralize authority completely, empower the states, the state leaderships, and at the same time create more consultative mechanisms at headquarters. But apart from that, they wanted somebody who could appeal beyond the traditional constituencies of the Congress, and they felt I could do so. And I was taken in by that argument. I said, let me give this a...
You know, the fact is, though, that your own Kerala Congress doesn't seem to be very enthusiastic about Shashi Tharoor contesting for Congress President. They haven't endorsed you. Let's be clear, your Kerala leadership hasn't. You are seen, whether this is an appropriate word to use or not, part of the Lutyens club in the Congress. The English-speaking, the last of the English-speaking elite within the Congress. It's one thing to write books, to have been with your international experience. It's another thing to run a party like the Congress, particularly at the time in which the Congress finds itself.
Ideally, we want the Congress to run itself. That is, we want people at all levels of the party to have a stake, to have authority, to have ownership of the party. It shouldn't be one person sitting in Delhi running. It shouldn't be a party that gets habituated to passing one-line resolutions, passing all decisions up the chain to the president. Let's try and empower people at all levels. What is the complaint that one keeps hearing at all levels of the party is people feeling disempowered. Let's change that. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the first concern. Secondly, frankly, if indeed many people don't wish to support me, that is their privilege. As long as we all share the same broad ideological commitment and vision, you're free to have individual likes and dislikes within that. At the end of the day, the electoral process will show the result, number one. Number two, I am intending to submit a nomination this morning with a large number of signatures collected from across the country. I'm talking about party workers from Kashmir to Nagaland, from Punjab to Tamil Nadu, who have signed on asking me to be their nominee.
Even though your own home state, Kerala,
and Kerala too.
They've not endorsed your
No, but there's no formal endorsement.
You're seen as an English speaker. I come back to it. Is that a disadvantage? The fact
Radeep,
that
I have
Shashi
won
Tharoor
3
doesn't
elections.
know Hindi well enough, is not from the Hindi heartland?
Listen, first of all, I've won 3 elections, which you can't win by speaking in English. I've gone out. Thiruvananthapuram, despite being the capital of Kerala, is 66% rural. There's no question about it. There are people there who are ordinary fisherfolk, ordinary hill dwellers, ordinary Adivasis as well. And I'm getting their votes. So I'm not doing this as a Lutyens liberal. I'm doing this as somebody who connects with people and who understands their needs and delivers whatever services I can to them. That's number one. Number two, on the Hindi heartland, that's a different issue. I agree with you that our country's political idiom is strongly turning towards Hindi, particularly under BJP rule. But let's not forget that it's entirely possible for somebody who's not from the Hindi heartland to also speak to and listen to, more importantly, the problems of people from the Hindi heartland. I do speak adequate Hindi. I've been giving sound bites every day outside the Lok Sabha. बस ठीक है, आप मुझे प्रश्न पूछ लीजिए, मैं आपको जवाब देता हूँ.
चलिए, मैं आपको कठिन प्रश्न हिंदी में पूछ लेता हूँ.
क्यों नहीं?
और कठिन प्रश्न ये है कि हाई कमांड जो है कांग्रेस में,
हाई कमांड तो अच्छी हिंदी नहीं है.
नहीं, वो गांधी फैमिली से जुड़ा हुआ है. क्या ये चुनाव आप एक तरह से हाई कमांड के खिलाफ लड़ रहे हैं? You said that you want
किसी के खिलाफ
नहीं, you said you want decentralization in the party. Many are suggesting people like you are in a way questioning the way the Gandhis have run the party. Somewhere, are you accepting that or not? That you're questioning the way the Gandhis are running the party?
We're not against anybody. हम किसी के खिलाफ नहीं है, to go back to Hindi since that's what you wanted. लेकिन हम चाहते हैं कि जो हमारी सिचुएशन अभी जो है, इसको अगर आप बदलाव ले आने चाहते हैं तो आपको किसी नई तरीका आपको पता करना चाहिए. We have to find new ways of addressing old problems. And the truth is, frankly, business as usual is no longer possible. The truth is that is ultimately what many people claim has led us to our present plight. And therefore,
when you say business as usual, let me start. Are you saying the old way of dynastical politics? The Congress is identified today with the Gandhi family, with a certain dynastical style of running the party. Even Rahul Gandhi is questioned largely because he's seen to be an entitled dynast. Do you believe the time has come to break away from that? Is this a candidature endorsed by the Gandhi family, by Rahul Gandhi?
No candidate has been endorsed by the Gandhi family. They've taken a very, very constructive view that says that election is good for the party, that the more the party workers get a chance to express their views on this, the more the party will be strengthened, and that they themselves will stay neutral and above the fray. That's been communicated to me, that's been communicated to Digvijaya Singh, and as far as I'm concerned, if there's a third candidate in the last day today, they're going to communicate the same thing to them as well. So, to my understanding, the Gandhi family says, no official candidate, we are not playing favorites, go out, good luck, we encourage you to contest. So, at the same time, it's important to stress, no one is running against anybody. This is not a question of a battle amongst rivals as we have between parties. It's a friendly contest amongst colleagues. We all share the same broad orientation. We are Congress people. We want the Congress ideology to prevail. We want Congress to win. And we want to stand up stoutly against the majoritarianism and the bigotry of the BJP. On all this, there is no disagreement. But we may have different views on how to do it. For example, I'm not somebody who's very entrenched in the way the organization has functioned so far. As you've rightly pointed out, I'm not seen as an organization man. Though I might say I created, as the founder chairman, the All India Professionals Congress, which showed that there is a different way of running things within the Congress family, which can be made to work. And I have a very different structure, which might actually be something the parent party could also learn from. So there are things that we can do. There's a number of things the Congress used to do, we've ceased to do. One of them is we had very strong state leaders, remember in Nehruji's time. People like B.C. Roy or Atulya Ghosh in Bengal, of Govind Vallabh Pant in UP. These people gave the Congress a very strong base of strong state leaders on whom the Congress's top pyramid was built. Today we've inverted the pyramid. All the power is on top, the state leaders don't matter. We need to change that. We need to create a situation, it seems to me, where the ordinary Karyakarta feels that he has access to whoever can take decisions that affect his daily life. And frankly, at the moment, many people feel they haven't got that opportunity, they're disempowered. So let's try and change all of this. This is not a criticism of what went before, because what went before worked for a while, and it has essentially ceased to work now. So let's try something different.
No, so what is the role of the Gandhi family? You know, that's the elephant in the room. The Bharat Jodo Yatra, which has just gone through your home state of Kerala, the focus entirely on Rahul Gandhi. All of you go to Sonia Gandhi's residence at 10 Janpad. Almost it seems to take approval from her before you file your nomination. So the sense is that this is a private limited company controlled by the Gandhis, and Shashi Tharoor or Digvijaya Singh, the two candidates so far, will at best be there as Congress presidents, but accountable to the Gandhi family. Is that how I should see it or not?
No, look, the DNA of the party is inextricably linked to the DNA of the Gandhi-Nehru family. There's no doubt about that. And this dynasty talk, frankly, is really not very serious, because every party in our country, DMK, Shiv Sena, Samajwadi, you name your party, you'll find that there is a certain dynastic tradition there.
But that may not be necessarily healthy. The question
I'm not saying it's healthy.
What will the relationship be between the Congress president and the family?
I'm just saying these ideas of dynasty work as long as they are of appeal to the voting public. If the Gandhis have had a great deal of authority in the Congress, it's because they win votes for the Congress. That people love them. And let's face it, even Rahul Gandhi, whom you're all busy criticizing, you should have seen the public adulation that met him at every step while he was walking in Bharat Jodo. We can't just completely close our eyes to this. There is a tremendous appeal still.
Sure.
Now, Rahul Gandhi has chosen not to translate that appeal into being president of the party. That's his privilege. But why would the party be foolish enough to say, we've got a proven vote winner amongst us who's got this great admiration? Why wouldn't we continue to welcome his involvement to the extent that he wishes to be involved?
No, so
the same with Sonia Gandhi, the same with Priyanka Gandhi.
No, so what is the relationship? A, they're not vote gatherers anymore. They were vote gatherers, the Gandhi family. You've lost 2 consecutive elections big time against the BJP, against a Modi-led juggernaut. My question again is this: relationship between Congress president and the Gandhi family?
I think it'll have to evolve in practice. They will have to choose their own role, how far they're going to be involved. The president, in turn, whoever the person is, will have to find creative ways of engaging them and using their undoubted charisma and appeal to the benefit of the Congress party and its message. Look, no Democrat came to power disavowing the Kennedys. No conservative replaced Churchill and started saying, I won't talk about Churchill. You should all want to hail the great leaders you've got, and I think we should do that, while at the same time looking beyond and doing what you can do.
Because I saw an interesting article written by P. Chidambaram, who said that the Congress president would be the organizational person, and you'd have a Rahul Gandhi almost as the face, the mascot, the messenger. Can that really work, this dual power structure? I mean, you know, it's not worked in the past really in the Congress.
I think that remains to be seen, frankly. That's Mr. Chidambaram's view. I think ultimately what I'm talking about is a far more collective decision-making process, where what evolves will emerge as a consensus of, for example, the working committee, part of which will now be elected as the Constitution provides for, and as part of a process in which we open up the consultative spaces in the party. We want to see a party democratized from block level, district level, state level, and up to the national level. We don't want a party in which all people are doing is writing one-line resolutions and authorizing the president to decide.
It's interesting you said that, because that's exactly what's happened in Rajasthan. The reason why Ashok Gehlot reportedly dropped out is because he refused to accept, or his MLAs refused to accept, the diktat of Delhi, of the high command culture of saying, pass a one-line resolution authorizing the Congress president, in this case Sonia Gandhi, to decide what happens in Rajasthan next. And that created the friction, which has meant that Mr. Gehlot, in a sense, has had to apologize to 10 Janpath and move on. My question is, Shashi Tharoor, you seem to be living in an illusory world the reality is very different. You're creating an idealistic world of decentralized Congress, of Congress democratized. The reality is this is a party where all roads lead to 10 Janpad.
Perhaps that would change. That depends very much, of course, on what the voters decide in this election. But if we have a party that functions differently, that need not be the case. Look, most parliamentary systems around the world, MLAs or the equivalent thereof in other countries, elect their leader. There's nothing terribly unusual about that. It's one way of dealing with factionalism. Instead of having 2 different factions or 3 factions running to Delhi and you have to choose one of them, you simply have put it to the test of the MLAs voting in a secret ballot and seeing whom they want to lead.
So is that what you would have done in the case like Rajasthan if the MLAs want a chief minister? Let's be very clear.
It's not right
should
for
that
me
be
to,
the way? Should that be the way forward if you were Congress president?
It's not right for me to comment on something that's already happened that I was not part of, because that, frankly.
But in general, do you believe
there may have
MLAs
been assurances made, there may have been assurances given, there may have been promises exchanged which were not violated. I don't know what expectations were in that particular instance. But in future, in theory, I think we would encourage a situation in which the party candidates are chosen more democratically, and the party, once they've elected their MLAs, will have the right for the MLAs to choose who should lead them. That is the way in which most parliamentary systems other than ours have functioned so far.
You know, there will be those listening to you who will say that is Shashi Tharoor wanting too much too soon? Because in Indian, are you being overly ambitious building up brand Tharoor?
Look,
in a party like the Congress, where it's usually by the time you're 70, you're finally taken seriously to contest for a big poll, unless you're a Gandhi.
Just 1 month ago, would you have expected to find us sitting here talking about a free and fair Congress party election for the president of the party? Honest truth is no.
Is it free and fair? Is it free and fair? There are those questioning the way electoral rolls are in a way manipulated at times.
Look, you and I are both cricket fans. If you've agreed to play a game, you'll have to bat on the pitch that's available.
So is it free and fair?
So I'm going to bat on the pitch, which means the electoral college that has been constituted. There's no point now wasting time debating how it's been constituted. There have been certain processes that have taken place which may or may not be to everyone's satisfaction. But for me now to start worrying about that rather than how to influence the people who are going to cast a vote is pointless. From my point of view is I turn to the voters and say, look, you're all congressmen and women. You want to see the party thrive. Do you think that I can lead you in that direction, or do you think somebody else can? That's all the choice that's required. To my mind right now, if they had been put there because of their loyalty to X, Y or Z, is absolutely irrelevant. They're there, they work for the Congress, they will get the leader they deserve.
You know, in a way, the choice is between Shashi Tharoor and Digvijaya Singh. And an old congressman was telling me this is between the old order and the new in a way. This is between someone who wants to be a disruptor, i.e. Dr. Tharoor, versus Digvijaya Singh, who's been much more a traditional congressman, 2-time chief minister, general secretary, far more experienced than you. Do you therefore concede that he is the more experienced candidate, and some would say therefore perhaps the more likely candidate to win this election?
Look, I'm not going to concede anything in an
You're not
interview.
conceding this election?
Not at all. He's a very good friend of mine, by the way, and I of his. He was gracious enough to call on me yesterday as soon as he picked up his nomination papers.
I saw the photograph of the two of you. You're calling yourselves not rivals, but friends and colleagues.
That's right, which we are. We are colleagues. In fact, we work together all the time. I'm part of his committee on the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We work together, and we will have to work together in future, whichever one.
Does he have the blessings of the Gandhi family, unlike Shashi Tharoor?
No. I think his line to me was, she told me exactly what she told you. And that's exactly where we stand, which is that the Congress president wants there to be a free and fair election, does not want to endorse anybody, and will not endorse somebody. That's obviously the only basis in which you can have a free and fair election.
You know, all of this is taking place at a time when the BJP is becoming a dominant party and the Congress is on the retreat. You've had 2 humiliating defeats in Lok Sabha elections. Do you believe that a new Congress president can transform your chances for 2024, or is 2024 a done deal for Mr. Modi?
Not at all. Of course he or she can transform the party. Let me point out right now that this very election, the media interest it's evoked, the public interest that is mounting and growing in the very fact that an Indian political party is doing something we used to reading about in foreign countries, but never seen an Indian political party do. This has stimulated a phenomenal amount of interest. I'm flooded with messages from strangers, non-political minded people, people who may not even have voted for us in the last election, saying, wow, you guys are doing something amazing. This makes the Congress look so much more attractive.
The BJP says it's a fixed match, that all of this talk of election, of contests, of delegates, of a free and fair election. In the end, whoever becomes will be whoever 10 Janpad decides. You say they are neutral, but the reality is they will choose one side. That's why Ashok Gehlot was being pushed for a while to become the candidate, the chosen one, the one who has the resources. They want a candidate who has resources. Do you have the resources?
Well, look, why don't we talk about this after the 20th of October when the results are declared? To my mind, I'm expecting to contest in a free and fair election. I'm expecting there to be no sort of sub-rosa messaging saying that somebody else is favoured. And certainly if Digvijaya Singh is the principal opponent, I think he's a gentleman, and I have great faith in the integrity of Mr. Mistry, the chief election officer, and the integrity of the process. Let's wait and see how it all goes.
What's the one advantage that Shashi Tharoor has over Digvijaya Singh, according to you?
Well, look, I mean, you said it yourself, that I do bring a breath of fresh air into the way in which we'd approach the party. I am not entrenched in the way the things are running right now, and I'm not, therefore, somebody with a vested interest in the status quo. I'm not suggesting he is, by the way. He's also a very original mind and a very decent human being. But he has been part of the system for a very long time. And for me, the fact that I have not been part of that system, except for the last 14 years, and that too principally as an MP, apart from heading the IPC, I would say that I have, to that degree, the capacity to look at things with a fresher eye. That's the big difference.
I'll ask you this one more time. Who will be the face of this new Congress, as you're calling it? Whoever becomes president? Or is that a done deal for Rahul Gandhi? He will be your prime ministerial face or your face?
I think we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see who has the greatest appeal with the public, and we'll have to see what the party wants. There's no question in my mind that if you're talking about democratizing the party and decentralizing it, a lot more people will have to be involved in deciding on questions like that than just one individual
So potentially a collective leadership?
I think so. I think one of our great slogans in the 2014 election, when Mr. Modi was going around thumping his chest and saying, me, 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 our slogan was, you may remember, Main Nahi Hum. We are the party of the hums. We are going to stand for a party of collective, consultative and experienced leadership.
And I'm hearing of a possibility of an even shadow cabinet around whoever becomes Congress president. Is that possible?
Why not?
You know, you're doing all this while you've written another book. I don't know where you find the time to write this.
I don't sleep enough, Rajiv.
You don't sleep enough. You've written a book this time on Ambedkar. And it's interesting because Dalit votes are among the votes that have left the Congress in recent times. Is Shashi Tharoor still sort of discovering in a way through his books why I'm a Hindu, now Ambedkar, in a way, areas where the Congress needs to... You've lost the Hindu vote,
I also have a book on
You've
Nehru.
lost the Dalit vote. You've also had a book on Nehru. But you know, this is a party that has lost the Dalit vote. Earlier lost... the belief is lost the Hindu vote. How does your writing fit in with your politics?
This lost the Hindu vote stuff, Rajdeep, is simply not accurate because you're talking about having lost to the BJP, which won 31 and then 37% in two successive elections. There are 80% Hindus in this country. So even if every single person who voted for the BJP was a Hindu, that's still not half the Hindu population. So let's not get carried away. We have not lost the Hindu vote, but we may have lost the vote of Hindutvavadi believers, and we may have also lost the vote of Hindus and others who were attracted to other points in Mr. Modi's manifesto. In the case of 2014, it was the economic message. In the case of 2019, may have been Pulwama, Balakot, national security. So different messages may have worked at different times. To my mind, the core issue still remains. What do we stand for? And why is it that our notion of an inclusive India is one that we have allowed to disappear? We need to get everyone back together and include them in the new narrative of the progress.
Because how do you really get that nationalist vote back again? You know, during Indira Gandhi's time, the Congress was seen to be the party that held the political center. There's a belief that under Rahul Gandhi, the Congress has veered far too much towards the left, and therefore the nationalistic spirit has completely been captured today by the BJP. How do you respond?
I think
Will you change that?
Savagely ironic, because we are the party of nationalism. We are the party descended from those who fought for the freedom of this country.
That was the party of Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, not the party today.
No, but the point is that we are heirs to that party. We should never disavow that legacy. We should absolutely stand up for Indian nationalism, but Indian nationalism and not Hindutva nationalism. What Mr. Modi's party talks about is a very narrow interpretation of our nationhood. I think we have to talk about the Indian nationalism that embraces all languages, all regions, all religions, all groups in one shared dream of a future progress. That's what India is all about.
Because I remember Sonia Gandhi at the India Today conclave in 2018 almost admitted that the Congress was being perceived as a pro-Muslim party.
We're a pro-everybody party. That's the difference between us. The BJP is only a pro-Hindu party, and that too a very narrow understanding of what Hinduism is. We are a pro-Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Adivasi, Dalit, anyone you name. Because from our point of view, everyone is Indian. We stand for the Ambedkar idea of the Constitution, which empowered the individual Indian citizen. Everyone with an Indian passport, everyone calling himself an Indian citizen, has the same rights as everyone else.
Because one of the groups that you've lost are the group between 18 to 30, the young voter. And many of those young voters believe the Congress is a party of corruption, of dynasty, a party of the old India, not of the new India. And Mr. Modi has captured the zeitgeist of the new India.
In that case, we'll produce a newer India, an India that will actually take us beyond the limitations of Mr. Modi's vision into an India that, apart from being new in terms of technology, economic development, free enterprise, all of those wonderful things, is also going to be an India that includes and not excludes, an India where nobody feels unwelcome because of their religion, an India where everyone is free to be themselves. That's the India we want to create. We've got to go back to that.
What happens if you lose?
What happens if I lose?
Yes.
I continue to do my work as MP for Thiruvananthapuram. I still have a year and a bit to go, and my voters have placed their trust in me. I need to reward.
Because there was buzz that if you lose, you might drift towards the AAP or the Trinamool Congress or even quit politics. Is that true?
Listen, at this point, I would say the party that I am running to lead is the party that I've devoted my entire political career to. I've never been in any other party. It is true that other parties had approached me in the past, but as you can see, I'm still where I am.
That's a confession. Other parties have approached you.
I won't name any names. Many other parties have come to me saying, would you like to come and join us? And I said very politely, I'm in the party that I'm in. My voters and workers have elected me to represent them, and I'm going to continue representing them. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm here.
Okay, let me leave you with the last question, which is a lovely quote that you put. You're quoting Majrooh Sultanpuri, interestingly in Urdu. So you're moving from English, Tharurian English, to Hindi to now Urdu, and you quote that famous, those lines of Majrooh Sultanpuri. मैं अकेला ही चला था, जनाबे मंजिल मगर लोग साथ आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. So you're hoping that you are the Pied Piper of the Congress, is it? People will join you in this movement.
I think when in a short while I go submit my nomination forms, you will see where the Karwan has come from. It's come from all corners of the country. It's included and embraced party workers of all sorts of backgrounds, religions, languages, regions. And at the same time, they've come with me, even though when I set out on this journey, many thought it was quixotic. They've all come with me and they've said, let's try and make a new story for the Congress party behind me. So I'm happy to lead them in that direction.
Well, Dr. Tharoor, you've had a long karma from being in the United Nations to Thiruvananthapuram MP to continually writing books, Sahitya Akademi Award winner among other things, to now trying to become the next Congress president. We wish you the best, as we wish all candidates who contest this post.
You sound like Sonia Gandhi. Thank you,
I sound like Sonia Gandhi. That will go viral. Thank you very much, Dr. Tharoor, for joining me. Shashi Tharoor, who intends and is contesting for Congress president.
You are watching India Today.
Southern cinema has left the audience stumped with its larger-than-life sets and intriguing stories. And the filmmakers have perfected the art of making movies which appeal to domestic audience as well as foreign viewers. But what makes these epic films a game-changer? Take a look.
South Indian cinema has left the audience stunned with its larger-than-life sets and intriguing stories. To deliver the audience an experience they have never consumed before, the industry has often invested a lot of money for delivering grand experiences. RRR, The Telugu language epic action drama centered around two real-life Indian revolutionaries, Alluri Sitaramaraju and Komaram Bhim, and their fight against the British Raj. Set in 1920, the plot explored the undocumented period in their lives when both the freedom fighters chose to go into obscurity before they began the fight for their country. The film starred Junior NTR, Ram Charan, Ajay Devgan, Alia Bhatt, Shreya Saran, Ray Stevenson, Alison Doddy, and Olivia Morris.
British ప్రభుత్వానికి ఎదురు తిరిగిన నేరానికి నేను అరెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను.
RRR was made on a whopping budget of 450 crore rupees, whereas the animation took 6 months and there were nearly 50 animal VFX shots.
Praise yourself for Ram.
The SS Rajamouli directorial grossed over 223 crores on its opening day, and its lifetime collection stood at over 1,000 crores worldwide, setting several box office records for an Indian film. Bahubali the beginning and Bahubali 2 the conclusion followed the story of Sivadu, a young adventurous man who helps his love Avantika rescue Devasena, the former queen of Mahishmati, who was a prisoner under the tyrannical rule of King Bhallal Dev.
Jai Mahishmati!
Inflation has been very sticky as far as certain items are concerned, including beverages, fuel. There is a big risk. Artificial block has been put on passing on the natural movements of global crude to Indian consumers, and I believe there will be an inflationary build-up there. And if you look at many of the household segments, what's your own reading of the inflation trajectory from here on? At least till December, if not beyond that?
So I think, Siddharth, before I talk about the inflation numbers, one thing I would actually request, and we have been requesting this for the last 2 years, is that we desperately need a revision of the CPI basket. It's based on a 2011-12 consumption expenditure survey where food has a weight of 46%. I think no amount of, guessing could help us believe that food still has a weight of 46%. It could have declined to much lower levels. Now, having said that and assuming that the CPI numbers as given out holds correct, my sense is that one, yes, there are some upside risks to the food inflation because this time the cereal inflation has been running at higher levels given the fact that paddy output and wheat output were on the lower side. But I don't think that's going to be much of a concern because a large part of the populace will be protected for the next 3 months from the vagaries in terms of the free distribution. And secondly, I think last time when we had this inflation running in double digits food prices after the crisis, 2009-8 crisis, I think protein inflation also was significantly higher. This time what we are saying is that there is food inflation, but it's sans protein inflation. So if I take these factors into account, I think food inflation, this month's inflation number could be around 7.10 to 7.2%. And next month onwards, the numbers will actually trend downwards. And most possibly, we'll get to an inflation number which is lower than 6% in March. So therefore, the RBI will have some sort of respite after September. But as I said to you, given the vagaries of the global uncertainty, I am not sure whether that could still lead to a situation of a pause in the rate hikes. But I don't think that there is too much upside risk on the food inflation, but there are some risk on the horizon.
Believe it or not, these both were...
watching India Today.
Hello there, you're watching India Today TV. I'm Sneha Murdani. Let's get started with the top stories this Friday. Top contenders Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge file nominations for Congress president polls. G23 leaders turn proposes for Mallikarjun Kharge. After filing nomination, Tharoor fires at Congress leadership over Kharge's candidature, calls him candidate of continuity. Congress Yatra enters first BJP-ruled state of Karnataka. Rahul Gandhi fires fresh salvo at the RSS, says they're spreading divisions in the society. Prime Minister Modi's Day 2 of Gujarat outreach inaugurates mega infrastructure projects, flags off Gandhinagar to Mumbai Vande Bharat Express and the Ahmedabad Metro. Putin signs executive orders on recognizing Kherson and Zaporizhia. Ukraine President Zelensky calls Russia terrorist state and bloodthirsty scum. Hurricane pounds Florida. Raging floodwaters wreak havoc. Rainstorm and blackouts across the U.S. state. Some news just coming in, and this is a controversy brewing in the Congress chief election where picture from Tharoor's election manifesto released holds distorted map of Jammu and Kashmir. Distorted map in Tharoor's decentralized the organization's pitch. Amit has more details on that story. Amit, this is again a controversy that Mr. Tharoor could have really done without it. When was this picture taken? Tell us a little more about that.
Well, Sneha, the news break that we are doing on India Today, it appears that Shashi Tharoor has landed into another massive controversy. This is a massive guffaw in the manifesto released by Shashi Tharoor. Shashi Tharoor, after filing his nomination papers, went back to his residence on 97 Lodi Estate, and that is where he had released this particular manifesto. And in the section which speaks about decentralizing the organization, that particular image is problematic. It is distorted map of India. The map of Jammu and Kashmir has been drawn in a distorted manner, and there are questions about the factually incorrect position on POK and Aksai Chin, and that is the controversy that Mr. Shashi Tharoor has landed up right after filing his nomination. And I had personally clicked his picture. If you go through the manifesto in the section which talks about this need to decentralize the Congress organization, that particular map has a distorted map of Jammu and Kashmir. The Jammu and Kashmir section is very problematic, and we also have India Today also have picture of Mr. Tharoor holding that particular section of the manifesto while he was actually speaking to the media personnel at his residence. So this is a massive controversy that Mr. Tharoor has landed up barely hours after filing his nomination papers at the AICC. Sneha.
All right, Amit, thanking you for the moment. We'll come back to you for more details on that story, and we're staying with the drama within the Congress party, the churning that we're seeing vis-a-vis the elections for the president. The race for who will be the next Congress chief is only heating up. The battle will be between Gandhi loyalist Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor. Digvijaya Singh, considered to be one of the closest aides of the Gandhis, has pulled out of the race just days after confirming that he will be contesting. Shashi Tharoor, one of the staunchest critics of the High Command in the recent times, has now filed his nomination. Kendra Party, a former Jharkhand MLA, has also entered this race. Kharge, now a front-runner for the Congress top job, currently has the backing of the Gandhi family, of the Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and others. Digvijaya Singh has also thrown his weight behind Kharge.
आज मैं कांग्रेस पार्टी के ओर से अपना नामांकित पत्र पेश किया हूं और मुझे सभी लीडर्स, कार्यकर्ता, डेलीगेट्स और जितने भी प्रमुख राज्य है उस राज्य के नेता लोग भी यहाँ पर हाजिर होकर मेरे को प्रोत्साहन किए और नॉमिनेशन भरने के लिए वो खुद यहाँ पर रहे, इसीलिए मैं उन सबको धन्यवाद देता हूँ।
Why would I take the trouble to file a nomination today? Why would I welcome the support of so many karyakartas? As I said, 60 people from around the country are supporting me. Why would I do that in order to withdraw? You must understand, I will not let down the workers from around the country who have gone out of their way to extend their support to me. They have invited me to contest as their representative, and when they ask me and they sign the papers, they sometimes travel long distances to give me their signatures. I am not going to disappoint them by pulling out.
खड़गे साहब के अनुभव में लाभ पूरा मुल्क को मिलेगा, पूरे कांग्रेस को मिलेगा, हमें इस बात की बहुत खुशी है। अभी तो विड्रॉल की टाइम और बाकी है, हो सकता है कोई विड्रॉ कर जाए, सचिन थरूर जी विड्रॉ भी कर सकते हैं, कोई नहीं कर सकता। मैं ये मानता हूँ कि जो भी फैसला सीनियर्स ने किया है मिलकर के, खड़गे साहब को खड़ा किया है, सबने मिलकर खड़ा किया है, वो कामयाब होंगे।
हम स्वागत करते हैं खड़गे जी ने जो फैसला किया है नामांकन भरने का, दशकों का उनका अनुभव रहा है, हर सदन में उन्हें देश के लोगों की आवाज़ उठाई है। मुझे विश्वास है उनके अनुभव का और संतुलित व्यक्तित्व का कांग्रेस पार्टी को लाभ मिलेगा।
He is the senior most leader of the Congress party, and therefore I have the greatest regard for him, of his service to the Congress party, and I will support him.
Is Mr. Kharge the unofficial official candidate of the Congress leadership?
Mr. Kharge is the senior most leader in the party. He was a leader of opposition in Rajya Sabha, and I think all of us should now rally around and unanimously elect him the next president.
But an 80-year-old, is this the time to have an 80-year-old? The Congress surely needed someone younger. Your name was doing the rounds.
No, thank you very much. The media was doing a lot, was being very kind. But the point is that his experience will surely help the party. There is time when experience is also required, and the way he is conducting, he has whole lifetime of commitment to the party, and I think we will benefit.
Ma'am, but till a few days ago it was Ashok Gehlot, then Digvijaya Singh, now Mallikarjun Kharge. What is going on? ये हो क्या रहा है कांग्रेस में?
No, Digvijay ji himself has said he did take the form. He was saying he was going to, and now I think he himself has withdrawn, and it would be in the fitness of things if Kharge ji is elected unanimously.
There is going to be a contest after Mr. Kharge and Mr. Sachin Pilot are there. There is going to be a contest, and that's quite valid and very democratic system.
My last question is to you, sir. Mr. Kharge, Mr. Tharoor, both are from southern India.
I think we should not tend to divide India in all those lines. Actually, it's the entire big organization. Sometimes you have a person as the president from one place at another time from another place, and that's the long history of Congress, which it has actually a witness to it.
हम लोग तो चाहते थे कि हमारे नेता जन नेता आदरणीय राहुल गांधी जी कांग्रेस का अध्यक्ष बने, लेकिन जब उनका निर्देश आ गया कि न वो खड़ा होंगे, न मैडम होंगी, न आदरणीय प्रियंका जी होंगी, तो उनका निर्देश आया कि पार्टी का हर कार्यकर्ता और हर नेता, तो भारतीय वायुसेना से लेके डिप्टी लीडर से लेके मंत्री तक कार्य करने का अनुभव था। हम कोई औपचारिकता नहीं करते। आप मेरे राज्य में लोगों से आप पूछ लीजिए कि जिन मामलों पर मैं फॉर्म रहता हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं कांग्रेस हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं गांधीवादी हूँ, वैचारिक रूप से मैं राहुल गांधी और सोनिया गांधी का नामों के।
Aishwarya is getting us more details on that story. Aishwarya, from the optics of it does appear that Kharge has all the support of the Gandhis and of the top leaders of the Congress party, and this pretty much is a done deal, isn't it?
Well, definitely, it looks like it is a one-sided contest because we did see how all the big leaders, the veteran leaders of the Congress party were behind Mallikarjun Kharge. In fact, it was Ashok Gehlot, the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, who when he stepped out of Mallikarjun Kharge's house, categorically said that all the leaders, all the senior leaders wanted Mallikarjun Kharge to stand. So definitely, it is an indication of which way this election will go. But one thing is sure that there is an election which is being held, and Mallikarjun Kharge's name, which was almost a whisper till late last night. Today, he is the forefront. He's at the forefront. He is the he is the person who everyone now is that he will shake things up if he is elected. But at the moment, Sneha, it looks like it will be Mallikarjun Kharge who will be the Congress president in coming times.
Yes, and Tharoor has interestingly also insisted that there is no support in that sense being offered to Kharge when the Gandhis are concerned. Be with us. I'll just come back to you for more on that. The stage, remember, is set for Mallikarjun Kharge versus Tharoor for the next post of Congress president. While the party has termed it as a friendly contest between the two veterans, the situation on the ground is actually drastically different. Well, it was Tharoor who filed his nomination first, flanked by a few of his supporters, but shunned by all leaders of any prominence in the party. And why was that? Because all the bigwigs, including the G23 leaders, were besides Kharge as he filed his nomination. The actions of the top party leaders did not go down well with Tharoor, who was clearly a man on a mission, calling Kharge's candidature a move to continue everything that's really wrong with the Congress. The MP from Kerala took a veiled dig once again at the top leadership, saying they're answerable to why Kharge was getting an official candidate treatment.
The Congress president has assured me that the Congress party has no official candidate and that the Gandhi family will stay neutral in this race and that they welcome as many candidates coming forward as possible. He was elected MLA 9 times. He was in the Lok Sabha once. He's been a terrific, twice I think, but anyway, he's been a terrific leader for many, many years. I think he's one of the great giants, the Bhishma Pitama of our party in some ways. He's the leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. Let's respect Mr. Kharge.
Aishwarya, meanwhile, Tharoor continues to be confident, saying that he too is a good choice when it comes to taking things over essentially from Mrs. Gandhi, given that he also has a connect with the people, isn't it?
Well, he is someone who's giving his 100%. Shashi Tharoor definitely is a man on a mission, and he's gone ahead and said that just in case he is selected, he's ready to shake things up. He's also talked about the fact that the kind of changes that he will bring about. See, all this, Sneha, is being done keeping the very important 2024 elections in mind. Almost, 48 hours ago, it was looking like it could be Ashok Gehlot who would become the next Congress president. But we all saw the kind of fiasco that happened in the state of Rajasthan. And keeping that in mind, and almost 24 hours ago, we saw Ashok Gehlot stepping out of Sonia Gandhi's house and coming out and saying that he is out of the race. So all eyes were on the next candidate. The candidate now is Mallikarjun Kharge. We'll have to see what happens next. The other date, Sneha, which is very important, is the 4th of October, because that's the date by when people can take back their name. So there is a slight possibility we could see maybe Shashi Tharoor taking his name back and then Mallikarjun Kharge becoming the president. But at the moment, from the press conference and the way in which he came, the swag that Shashi Tharoor had, it looks like he's in to give a tough competition. However, he's being time and again, Sneha, maintaining that this is a friendly contest. It's a friendly fight. All the eyes will be on the day the election will be held. But at the moment, all the indications, all the leaders are firmly standing behind Mallikarjun Kharge.
All right, I'm thanking you for the moment, Aishwarya. We'll, of course, keep coming back to you for more on that story. And we're staying with this. While the wildcard entry of Mallikarjun Kharge in the Congress president wasn't the only big surprise today, the other big talking point was the presence of Congress rebel leaders as Kharge filed his nomination. Now remember, the G23 group has been very vocal in its criticism of status quo within the party and has been demanding a leadership change to revive the Congress electoral fortunes. Today, all of these dissenters lined up to back the Gandhi's pick for the Congress president. Mallikarjun Kharge, in fact, G23 leaders like Manish Tiwari, Prithviraj Chavan, Salman Khurshid were also the proposers who nominated Kharge. Well, the other things, it does appear that the more things change within the Congress, the more they remain the same.
सर, क्या आपको लगता है जो चुनाव की ये प्रक्रिया है, इससे एक अच्छा मैसेज
में कांग्रेस पार्टी में चुनाव होता है संविधान के अनुसार, और भी जो है इसके बाद भी जो आवश्यक है, मुझे ऐसा विश्वास है कि वो भी होगा। कांग्रेस कार्यकारिणी के भी चुनाव होंगे और एक समावेशी सामूहिक नेतृत्व कांग्रेस को आगे लेकर चलेगा।
शशि थरूर कैंडिडेट को कैसे
मेरी शुभकामनाएं
दी, पर समर्थन नहीं दिया आप लोगों ने।
अब वो तो अपने अपने सोच और निर्णय है।
आपका ग्रुप का हिस्सा थे
वो तो बहुत थे, वो तो इलेक्शन अथॉरिटी में भी बैठे हैं, वो तो मुकुल वासनिक भी थे, कई प्रस्तावक उसी का हिस्सा थे। कोई एक पार्टी में गुट नहीं था। हमने सुधार की बात की थी, सुझाव दिए थे, वो गुट नहीं था।
संदेश देने की कोशिश है कि चुनाव हो रहा है, ये हमारा संदेश है, और कहीं चुनाव नहीं होता।
मैच फिक्स तो नहीं है सलमान साहब, मैच फिक्स है।
पहले रिजल्ट तो देख लीजिए, रिजल्ट देख लीजिए, फिर मुझसे ये सवाल पूछिएगा। अभी हम क्या जाने क्या होगा, रिजल्ट आने दीजिए। खुलकर चुनाव हो रहा है, सबको इजाज़त है, हम भी खड़े हो सकते थे, कोई और खड़ा हो सकता है, सब लोगों के सामने है और लोग वोट डालेंगे और अपना निर्णय सामने आ जाएगा।
राहुल गांधी रेस से हट गए, पहली बार हो रहा है कि 24 साल में एक गैर गांधी अध्यक्ष बनने जा रहे हैं।
देखिए, इससे कोई समस्या नहीं है। हम बड़ा स्पष्ट पहले से कह चुके हैं, मैं स्वयं कह चुका हूं कि प्रेसिडेंट और लीडर एक ही नहीं होता है। प्रेसिडेंट भी लीडर होता है, लेकिन एक उसके साथ साथ एक प्रमुख लीडर होता है। प्रमुख लीडर अगर ये जिम्मेदारी नहीं समझता है कि वो ले किसी और को दे, तो उसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है।
शशि थरूर कल भी हमारे मित्र थे, आज भी मित्र हैं, कल भी रहेंगे। पर जहां तक कांग्रेस पार्टी का सवाल है, आप देखेंगे कि जिन सब लोगों ने अपना पूरा जीवन कांग्रेस पार्टी में व्यतीत किया है, वो सारे आज यहाँ पे हैं। दिग्विजय सिंह जी बहुत सत्कारयोग लीडर हैं और दिग्विजय सिंह जी ने बहुत ही ग्रेस दिखाते हुए अपना नामांकन वापस लिया है। तो अगर आम सहमति बन जाए तो अच्छा होगा।
But then it's time for a quick break. Here on the other side, rickshaw driver who had dinner with Arvind Kejriwal shows up to Prime Minister Modi's rally as well with young supporters.
You are watching India Today.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to do a rethink on how we lead our lives, to think about what we are doing to our bodies and to our health, and also wellness, because it is time now to go back to the basics. It is time to talk about your food, your sleep habits, your gut health, stress, and much more. And that exactly is what our brand new health show, Health 360, is going to do at these times only on India Today TV. The World Health Organization only very recently cited a report to talk about the fact that over 144 million people could be affected by long COVID. In fact, there is enough anecdotal evidence over the last almost 3 years and also several data that seems to be suggesting that long after recovery, there are signs and symptoms and problems associated with COVID-19. And that, in short, is long COVID. Long COVID is a serious medical condition. In December 2021, the World Health Organization had identified long COVID as post-COVID-19 condition comprising a constellation of long-term symptoms that some people experience after they have had COVID-19 and had named the ones suffering from it as long haulers. Now, doctors at Delhi's premier-most All India Institute of Medical Sciences have spoken particularly about 3 kinds of symptoms that are associated with long COVID. This is primarily a brain attack or stroke in arteries. Post-COVID, doctors say, there can be development of complications in the brain. There are immediate acute situations like brain attack or stroke in arteries, veins, or brain inflammation. However, doctors have said that research is underway to understand this better.
So we are very clear that COVID, even though mild, may affect people for a longer duration, over up to a year, and create increased incidence of heart attack, strokes. We know that COVID itself, in the acute phases, causes increased incidence of strokes related to clotting, related to inflammation of the arteries, also increased incidence of clots in the brain causing strokes and clots in the lungs. But we are concerned about the long-term effects also.
Doctors say that there has been an increase in brain and heart-related issues during the second wave of the pandemic. In the current scenario, more data is required, is what they say. In fact, according to Dr. Ashok Gehlot, chairman of the Fortis Escorts Heart Institute, a study says there is an increase of 60% of the incidence of heart-related issues and neurological disorders. The way forward is never to ignore any of the symptoms that have cropped up and also consult a doctor immediately. Long COVID is associated with any kind of COVID infection, even though the infection per se would be mild. There is nothing that's going to really rule long COVID out. This means that COVID, even though mild, may affect people for a longer duration up to a year and create increased incidence of heart attacks and strokes.
Watching India Today.
Welcome back. Now, rickshaw driver who had dinner with Arvind Kejriwal shows up to the Prime Minister's rally with young supporters. Gujarat-based auto rickshaw driver who recently dined with Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal during his visit to Ahmedabad at his residence also attended the Prime Minister's rally in Ahmedabad on Friday. Well, in a big embarrassment to the AAP, the driver also extended his support to the Prime Minister. In the video that has taken over the internet now, the driver, identified as Vikram Dattani, can be seen wearing a BJP scarf around his neck. Prime Minister Modi's cavalcade stops to give way to an ambulance in Ahmedabad. This when we've seen VIP movement inconveniencing citizens. These pictures are from Gujarat, where the Prime Minister is, where the Prime Minister's cavalcade made way for an ambulance, stopped and allowed the ambulance to pass by, clearly setting an example and sending out a message to those who simply refuse to give way to ambulances. Top stories that we've been tracking this up. Calcutta High Court has directed the state CID not to probe the cattle smuggling case and ensure unhampered investigation by the CBI. The development comes after central agency had said overlapping the probe is going to hinder the investigation. General Anil Chauhan has taken charge as the new Chief of Defence Staff. The CDS has his agenda of military theaterization on top priority, and first of theatre commands are expected to come into existence by the end of this year. The CDS post was vacant since the death of General Bipin Rawat. A Jamia Millia Islamia student was shot inside the Holy Family Hospital in southeast Delhi's Jamia Nagar on Thursday. Well, the police says a fight broke out between two groups inside the library of the Jamia Millia Islamia University, leaving one injured. The RBI has hiked the repo rate by 50 basis points to 5.90%, the fourth straight increase in the current cycle to tame sustained above target retail inflation rate. The controversy over Union Minister Nitin Gadkari's rich country, poor people remark escalates. TMC leader Derek O'Brien has targeted Nitin Gadkari over his remark and sought attention of opposition parties. Meanwhile, Gadkari slammed the opposition for misinterpreting the remark and deriving joy out of it. With that, it's time for a break. Here on the other side, Congress Yatra enters first BJP-ruled state of Karnataka. Rahul Gandhi fires a fresh salvo at the RSS.
You are watching India Today.
But would U.S. forces defend the island?
Yes, if in fact there was an unprecedented attack.
我们敦促美方充分认识台湾问题的极端重要性和高度敏感性，恪守一个中国原则。
We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
Nancy Pelosi's visit, multiple military exercises, and a lot of back and forth discussions and warnings. Taiwan is still looming under an attack threat. China has time and again warned the United States about the consequences of interfering in the One China policy. Amid the constant warnings, Joe Biden came on record and said that the United States would defend Taiwan. China has been flexing its military power at the Taiwan Strait by conducting several military drills. In fact, at the recent SCO meeting, Putin and Jinping discussed the state of Ukraine and Taiwan. Although the island country says it is independent, China's policies do not recognize Taiwan as a separate country. Xi Jinping has vowed to bring Taiwan under Beijing's control, and they haven't ruled out the use of force. But Taiwan strongly objects to China's sovereignty claims. Ever since Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, China has invaded Taiwan's airspace and conducted many hostile military attacks across the Taiwan Strait. Despite the United States saying they will support Taiwan in case of an attack, China's ministry spokesperson has delivered a clear warning.
我们愿以最大诚意，尽最大努力，争取和平统一的前景。同时，我们绝不容忍任何旨在分裂国家的活动，保留采取一切必要措施的选项。任何人都不要低估中国人民捍卫国家主权和领土完整的坚强决心、坚定意志、强大能力。不要站在14亿中国人民的对立面。
We agree with what we signed on to a long time ago, and that there's a one China policy, that Taiwan makes their own judgments about their independence. We are not moving, we're not encouraging their being independent. That's their decision.
Both the statements come from the same day. After Biden's statement, Taiwan welcomed the United States' support. It said that Biden's words reflect United States' rock-solid security commitment to Taiwan.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us to do a rethink on how we lead our lives, to think about what we are doing to our bodies and to our health, and also wellness, because it is time now to go back to the basics. It is time to talk about your food, your sleep habits, your gut health, stress, and much more. And that exactly is what our brand new health show, Health 360, is going to do at these times only on India Today TV.
You are watching India Today.
Now, welcome back. Remember Shrikant Tyagi, the suspended BJP leader who assaulted a woman in his Noida society? Well, the same residential complex has hit the headlines once again. Today, bulldozers were back in Noida's Grandomax, this time to demolish illegal constructions. This as the members of the Tyagi community continued their sit-in protest in front of the gate. 2 days ago, the Noida authority issued a 48-hour ultimatum to clear the encroachments. So far, encroachment of 16 flats have been demolished by the authorities. Residents say they didn't receive any notice. BJP leader Shrikant Tyagi's wife, Anu Tyagi, had planted trees at the disputed location.
कोई रिटर्न नोटिस नहीं है, कोई वैकेंसी नोटिस नहीं है हमारे पास कि हम कितना टाइम देते हैं, आप खाली कर लीजिए. सिर्फ तुगलकी फरमान है. आइए तोड़िए. ये हो क्या रहा है यूपी में? योगी जी, यू हैव टू बी देयर. दिस इज इनजस्टिस सबसे ऊपर हो रहा है हमारे साथ. आप आके देखिए, आप चेक कर लीजिए, हमारे एरिया के अंदर है. अगर हमने आधा इंच भी घेरा हो, एंक्रोच किया हो, तो वो एंक्रोचमेंट होता है.
कुछ करने से पहले एटलीस्ट हम लोगों को टाइम दिया जाए, बताया जाए कि क्या इलीगल है, क्या लीगल है. एटलीस्ट हम लोगों को पता तो चले, बिकॉज वी हैव पेड एवरीथिंग फॉर दैट. हमने सब कुछ पे किया है. क्या अगर प्रॉब्लम होती तो स्टार्टिंग की नोएडा अथॉरिटी हम लोगों को प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करती ना. उन्होंने अप्रूव किया तो हम लोगों ने किया ये सब कुछ. सर, वो 48 घंटे जो उन्होंने बोला है वो तो कहीं भी अनाउंस करके चले गए. आधे लोग थे, आधे लोग नहीं थे, किसी को नहीं पता चला. एटलीस्ट हम लोगों को रिटर्न में तो बोलते हैं ना कि भी कुछ आपका ऐसी कार्रवाई होने लगी है, जिससे कि हम लोग प्रिपेयर्ड होते हैं. हम लोग सुबह हम लोगों को न्यूज़ मिलती है तो हम लोग सारे घर से बाहर आ गए. हम लोग अपना घर कैसे तोड़ने रहे? हम लोग इतने टाइम से यहाँ पे रह गए.
News is coming in. All India Muslim Jamaat President Maulana Shahabuddin Razvi has received a threat from an alleged Popular Front of India activist for hailing the ban on the radical outfit. The threat call also comes after the Maulana had met RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat and sought for a ban. He'd also welcomed the arrest of Popular Front of India leaders in the last week. The cleric has sought security for him and his family from the Bareilly police.
मैंने एसएसपी बरेली, आज मुझे दोपहर में धमकियां मिली और ये कहा गया कि तुम अपनी ज़ुबान को बंद कर लो वरना तुम्हारा अंजाम बुरा होगा. तो मैं ऐसे लोगों को बता देना चाहता हूँ कि मैं हमेशा हक़ और इंसाफ की आवाज़ बुलंद करता रहा हूँ और हमारे बुज़ुर्गों ने भी और सूफिया इकराम ने भी हक़ और इंसाफ की आवाज़ बुलंद की है और मैं आवाज़ बुलंद करता रहूँगा. मैं खामोश बैठने वाला नहीं हूँ और मैं इन गीदड़ भभकियों से डरने वाला नहीं हूँ. मैंने एसएसपी बरेली
Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has kick-started the Bharat Jodo Yatra in Karnataka after ending his 18-day-long Kerala leg. Senior Congress leader Siddaramaiah welcomed Wayanad MP Rahul Gandhi at the state border. Now addressing the crowd, the Wayanad MP attacked the BJP government, saying that no one can stop this yatra and that it would continue from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Gandhi also said lakhs of people will walk with him. The 21-day Karnataka leg began from Gundulpet in Chamarajanagar. The yatra will traverse across 7 districts in the state. Earlier, BJP workers attacked Congress by putting up posters of the National Herald scam with memes against Congress President Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi throughout this area. Amid the yatra, political showdown has intensified between the Congress and the BJP in the state over banning of the RSS.
ये भारत जोड़ो यात्रा चलेगी.
ಕನ್ಯಾಕುಮಾರಿಯಿಂದ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರವರೆಗೂ ಸಹ ಈ ಭಾರತ್ ಯಾತ್ರೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತೆ.
इसका लक्ष्य जो बीजेपी की विचारधारा, आरएसएस की विचारधारा देश में नफरत फैला रही है, हिंसा फैला रही है, उसके सामने खड़ा होने का है.
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, PFI ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಸಮರ್ಥನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನು ಇಲ್ಲ. PFI ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯ ಆಧಾರಗಳಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಅವರೇ ಹಿಂದೆ PFI ಕೇಸ್ಗಳನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ಈಗ ಅದನ್ನು ಮರಿ ಮಾಚಲು RSS ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. RSS ಯಾಕೆ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದೇಶ ಪ್ರೇಮಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ಸಂಘಟನೆ. ದೀನ ದಲಿತರಿಗೆ 10 ಹಲವಾರು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಡ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅನಾಥರು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪ್ರವಾಹ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಂಕಷ್ಟ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಮುಂದೆ ನಿಂತು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶ ಪ್ರೇಮದ ಜಾಗೃತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸಂಘಟನೆ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಕೇಳುವಂಥದ್ದೇ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದುರ್ದೈವ. ಈ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಇಳಿಬಾರ್ದಾಗಿತ್ತು.
So when people say Congress party is doing Bharat Jodo, but who is todoing Bharat? Our answer is Mr. Modi's ideology, Mr. Modi's policies, Mr. Modi's personality is todoing Bharat. It is todoing Bharat because economic inequality is increasing, because social polarization is increasing, and because political over-centralization is increasing. So this is the simple reason.
ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ಗಳನ್ನು, ಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಧಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ, ಮುಸಿ ಬಳಿತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆಯ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೀವು ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಮುಂದುವರೆದರೆ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಯಾವ ನಾಯಕರು ಕೂಡ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರುಗಾಡಬಾರದು. ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ.
It's time for a break. Here on the other side, Putin has signed an executive order on recognizing Kherson and Zaporizhia. The Ukrainian president has called Russia a terrorist state and bloodthirsty scum.
You are watching India Today.
Now, packed with Indian cinema's big guns like Vikram and Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, this epic saga is surely one of the most anticipated films of 2022, and fans have been thronging to book their tickets in advance. Here's the complete story.
Starring big guns like Vikram, Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Karthi and Jayam Ravi, Ponniyin Selvan 1 is easily one of the most highly anticipated films of 2022. And it's also quite evident from the advanced bookings. In advanced booking for day 1, Ponniyin Selvan 1 has already done a business of 11.3 crores gross, out of which the Tamil version has contributed the most so far.
நான் ஆதித்த கரிகாலரின் நண்பன் வல்லவரையன் வந்தியத்தேவன். எம் இளவரசரோட தோளோடு தோள் நின்று போரிடும் பாக்கியம் எனக்கு கிடைத்தது.
அருண்மொழியும் கரிகாலரும் ஒன்று சேராமல் நாம் பார்த்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டும்.
What's more, the tickets are selling like hotcakes, and if reports are to be believed, the mark of 6 lakh will soon be crossed. Also, as per trade experts, this magnum opus is expected to bring in the family audiences in big numbers. The makers, meanwhile, are leaving no stone unturned to promote the film. A brilliantly edited video clip with scenes from Talapati and Nayagan was shared by them on social media as a tribute to Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan, the two superstars of Indian cinema.
இவ்வளவு பேர் ஏன் கடவுளா மதிக்கிறாங்கன்னு எனக்கு புரியல. நீங்க எப்போது இடையா இருந்திருக்கீங்களா?
சோத்துக்கு திண்டாடணும், 4 காசு சம்பாதிக்கணும்னா சாவணும்.
வயிறு காலியா இருக்கும்போது கோர்ஸ் செலவு, ஒட்டில் செலவு கொடுக்க முடியாது சார். நட்புங்க என்ன தெரியுமா உனக்கு?
watching India Today.
Well, here's a quick roundup of top international stories. Crowds gathered outside Windsor Castle in southeast England on Thursday to pay their respects to Queen Elizabeth. The final resting place of the Queen reopened to the people for the first time since her death on the 8th of September. Well, after hitting Florida, a hurricane barreled on Friday towards South Carolina. Officials in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina have asked residents to prepare for dangerous conditions. At least 19 people have been killed, many wounded, after a suicide attack in Afghanistan's Kabul. There is no immediate claim of responsibility of the blast. This attack took place at an education institute where an entrance exam was taking place. A deadly Russian rocket strike hit southern Ukraine. Russian forces shelled a bus stop in the city. The attack killed 3 and injured 12 civilians. The US and the Pacific Island nations have vowed to strengthen their partnership in a declaration released at the US Pacific Island Countries Summit on Thursday. US President Biden pledged to help stave off China's economic coercion and promised Pacific Island leaders to work harder with allies and partners to address their needs. Some news just coming in. Ukrainian President Zelensky has said Russia can avoid the most damaging consequences of its war against Kyiv. But to do so, President Vladimir Putin has to be stopped. Zelensky said that Russia will not be able to successfully annex 4 Ukrainian regions, as announced by Russian President Vladimir Putin. Russia won't succeed in its annexation, is what Ukrainian President Zelensky said. Russia will pay for Putin's crimes, is what Zelensky said. Russia can avoid the most damaging consequences of its war against Kyiv, but to do so, President Putin has to be stopped. Staying with news from Russia, where President Vladimir Putin has formally annexed 4 partially Russian-occupied regions of Ukraine on Friday, a move already rejected by Kyiv and its Western allies. Kremlin said a ceremony to mark the incorporation of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson and Zaporizhia into Russia would take place at 3 p.m. Moscow time. Here's more.
Close to 8 months after Russia launched its so-called special operations into Ukraine on the 24th of February, Moscow is all set to formally annex and take control of 4 provinces of Ukraine after a 4-day-long referendum. Russia already controls Crimea since 2014 and now is in control of Kherson, close to 70% of Donetsk, a major part of Zaporizhia and the entire Luhansk province. Referendum that the West and Ukraine describe as a sham was conducted over 4 days from the 23rd of September in Luhansk and Donetsk in the east and Zaporizhia and Kherson in the south. Russian President Vladimir Putin is to make a formal announcement and there would be a signing ceremony at the Red Square in Moscow Friday evening. There is also a grand concert planned to celebrate what Russia describes as its victory.
The process of forming a fairer world order is happening before our eyes. It's accompanied by known and obvious problems. Unipolar hegemony is collapsing relentlessly. It's an objective reality the West doesn't want to accept.
Неумолимо рушится. З канцлером Німеччини обговорили широке коло питань політичні.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has described the referendum as a pseudo-referendum exercise and insists nothing changes for Ukraine. He told his people that their effort would be to retake old territory lost to Russia.
Підвищувати ставки, ескалювати конфлікт.
And I want to emphasize the following. Ukraine has no chance, and Europe has no chance to properly end the war, except for the gradual and effective liberation of all its territories. Otherwise, Russia will feel that it has the right to blackmail the world, raise the stakes, and escalate the conflict, and see itself as the victor in what they will see as a grievous war against Europe.
Ми маємо звільнити в повному обсязі свою територію. Тільки це.
The Russian referendum in the 4 regions has been criticized by several Western countries, insisting that the process was neither free nor fair or transparent.
The signing ceremony of the treaties on new territories joining Russia will be held tomorrow at the Grand Kremlin Palace in St. George's Hall at 3 p.m.
Russia's 2 houses of parliament are also set to formally ratify the referendum and the new territories becoming a part of Russia. President Putin is also expected to address the upper house of the Russian parliament in the first week of October, ahead of his 70th birthday. Both the US and Europe have warned Russia of more sanctions.
We're together proposing a new package of biting sanctions against Russia. So we propose sweeping new import bans on Russian products. This will keep Russian products out of the European market and deprive Russia of an additional 7 billion euros in revenues.
European leaders have said that Russian forces took people, often at gunpoint, for the referendum, and the same cannot be accepted by the world. Ukraine's forces, backed by US and NATO weapons, have successfully taken back some territory from Russian control on the other eastern axis around Kharkiv, but challenges remain immense with the onset of winters. With Bureau Inputs, Gaurav Sawant, India Today.
Now, one of the most dangerous storms to hit the US in years after ravaging Cuba and causing blackouts in the island nation, Hurricane Ian has made a landfall in Florida's west coast with relentless rain and winds approaching 150 miles per hour. 2.4 million homes and businesses experienced Thursday without any power. Well, after ravaging Cuba and causing blackouts in the island nation, this hurricane has led to these dramatic scenes. A hospital roof was blown off, cars submerged and trees ripped out of the ground. Several citizens took refuge in hotels as the hurricane lashed the state. The US Coast Guard is performing rescue missions on the Barrier Islands consistently since the storm passed early Thursday morning. The Category 4 hurricane was later downgraded to a tropical storm as it lost steam. Rain, storm and blackouts, Hurricane Ian has wreaked havoc in Florida, trapping millions of residents in a deep lurch. Let's take a look at these defining pictures. A down street sign, power lines and trees littered, buildings suffering destroyed walls, shared roofs. The hurricane plowed into Florida's Gulf Coast, unleashing howling winds, torrential rains. Meanwhile, satellite images showed Hurricane Ian battering Florida. The hurricane has caused widespread disruption. After ravaging Cuba and causing blackouts in the island nation, the hurricane left a trail of damage in Florida. Several boats were washed ashore and left lodged between buildings. Over 1.8 million people were left without power. Streets were completely flooded. Many were stuck without resources. The storm made a huge landfall near the Barrier Island of Cayo Costa.
We got up.
Members of the National Guard were seen in floodwaters helping rescue residents in Florida following the devastation. Troops could be seen pushing a military Humvee through a heavily flooded road in Sarasota country. With that, it's time for a break. Here on the other side, top contenders Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge file nominations for Congress president elections. G23 leaders turn proposers for Mallikarjun Kharge.
You are watching India Today.
It's become a massive talking point, and I have read your views in the past about the currency. This time, the global movement in the respective currencies, including the pound, where commentators in the United Kingdom are now saying that what is going on with that country, first Brexit, then Boris, and now what is happening to the currency management and an unfunded tax cut. What's your sense as far as the rupee is concerned? Is it something that we should be worried about, or do you think it will find a level very soon?
No, I think to